I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Don't you understand, Steven? Somebody has to kill the babysitter.
I'm too old for this shit.
Kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games. Don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
Mockery. Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone ever again!
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Bullshit, Mr. Handman.
To you. Come.
Aim for the cat, dude! Aim for the cat! I'm trying, Evil Ted! I'm trying! Ah, just...
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good afternoon, evening, whatever you... Saturday night. Sit. Kidding me? Are you messing with the mute?
What? No, I'm not.
Right in the middle of my introduction.
That wasn't me. Do it again. Was it me?
Good. You screwed up my flow, man. Welcome to Saturday Night Sith. I am your host, Fractured Filter. Along with me, as always, is Jay Hitman, who decided to give us some additional technical difficulties tonight. How are you tonight, sir?
Okay. So that was 1000% me. But you moved around. Usually you're number one and I'm number two. So it's on you. I was trying to mute myself as I'm over here. Literally just my room has exploded with comic books.
Well, that's not my fault.
So I literally listen. I have 12 bags of comics that I have not gone through, and the box just fell over. It's okay. Hopefully that's not picked up on the background noise. No, I went to go mute myself because I'm screaming right now, and you went to the number 2 spot. So it's on you, number 2.
Well, I'm back to number 1.
I was like, what is going on? Is your mic messed up? Are you like
Oh, well, it's another Saturday, and here we are.
This was supposed to be Saturday Night Sith, not Sunday Night Shenanigans. Over here messing with the mic.
We are already hitting the shenanigans a little early, it seems.
That was on me. I own that. That's on me.
It's fine.
1000%.
It's all
you listen. This is what happens when you give me access to buttons. I press them.
I have learned a lesson. I don't know if I'll ever fully learn the lesson, but hey,
it's fine.
Partnerships are what they are.
Absolutely. You wouldn't rather have anybody else on this. I'm gonna I'm gonna rip this mic and I'm gonna choke myself with it. It just messes up again.
It is
I'm
now
literally-
turned into the David Carradine special. Okay, so I just want to say hello to the chat gets all ready. We had the first one in was Jason, like, hello, sir, saying hail, the fractured filter. Wookie Be Bad was here already. He says, feeding the dog and cooking, but I am here. And to remind the chat, smash that like button like Thrawn smashed Hera's doll when he was alone. Ugh. So Disney Thrawn, very degenerate. He has to go. And he says, early, are you sure you're a YouTuber? We've never referred to ourselves as such, so we make up the rules as we go.
Who?
Huh? Exactly.
We listen. We do what I want. I do what I want. Okay. I do it.
Hello there, Brubba Fett, aka Nerdy Neo. How's it going? He says, "Hey, Filter and Wookie Be Bad." Hello.
Wookie Be Bad.
Got Crimson Raptor
eating
in the
that
house.
Nasty pineapple pizza. I'm sure.
What did I stumble upon? Two very unorganized individuals. What can we say?
Well,
we're here to have fun. We aren't here for structure. We are just here for some fun and hilarity.
That's a great question, Crimson Raptor. We're here to give it to any and all Disney shills.
Exactly.
And yeah, there's no structure. Like a lot of shows have structure. Like they do like, oh, we're gonna do this. Like we do what we want. Like, and there's no shame in our game. Don't care.
Absolutely. And Wookie says, bite the lemon before you pass out. I'll try and remember that. Static, hello, sir. And he asks, why are you gay? I got no answer for that. I'm sorry. We just, I do not actually acknowledge this time of the month other than it is dinosaur month. So no gay. No gay. All dinos. Dinos are cool.
Actually, fun fact, DC actually have it here. It came out with a Jurassic League. So if it's dinosaur month, go and get you'd have to probably try to find them, but there's a Jurassic League, and it is basically Batman and Joker are dinosaurs. Batman's a T-Rex. Actually a really, really fun comic for those who like DC. And even if you're like one of those, I don't know, lowly Marvel fans, you probably find entertainment from it as well.
Comic's a comic, Hey, what can be said?
And it's our show, and if you don't like that, you can love it. So pumped.
Well, and I want to also say hello over on Rumble. We got 3 watching over there. We've got the wonderful people over here on the YouTubes. Thank you all. You are beautiful. You are wonderful.
Is Rumble working? Because it wasn't working.
Rumble is working this time. It for some reason crapped last time. But otherwise it's all good. It's all good in the home. Although it seems like Odyssey has decided to crap out on me this time.
Well, that's not good.
It happens. Shit happens. That's what's gonna happen. Oh well. I can always just upload things later. Anywho, yeah. So what comics have you been perusing? What have you grabbed? Because you said you have like 14 bags, 17 bags. What's the
so here's the thing. I've got like 4 boxes, short boxes. They hold about 200 comics. I'd say 150, 200, and I've got not including what I have in storage. But see, sometimes what happens, like, I guess this is how you know if you're a true comic book connoisseur or nerd, is you have comics in your long box, but also you keep them in the trunk of your car for when you go to the comic book shop, and then you just, well, at least me, I just throw them in my trunk. So I have like 17 bags, probably like 12 bags inside my boxes I haven't gone through, and then not including the ones that were in my trunk. So I just figured it would probably be a good time to get them out of my car, with it being as like it's so hot. It's like
Yeah, you don't want
ridiculously hot. So hot. Like for no reason no reason other than like somebody who is controlling HARP is like, oh, we're gonna just turn the heat up and so everybody just dies of heat stroke. But I need to figure out how to put my my camera. But so fun fact, so Amalgam, like you're a comic book, you're Marvel, you were Spider-Man, so you may
know it a little bit.
What I'm about to say. So if hopefully I get this right, and if I don't get this right, anybody who wants to correct me. But DC writers and Marvel writers came together and collaborated, I think in the 90s, I want to say, and it was called Amalgam Comics. And so basically it was they would mix Marvel characters with DC characters. Sorry, DC characters with Marvel characters. Sorry, I do number one, then number two. But I was able to procure, and I'm sure you can find these probably on Amazon. I don't know. They're pretty expensive. Well, I mean they're pricey. Like, but anyway, so like I have a Bruce Wayne Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's Bruce Wayne mixed with I'm not sure the character for Marvel because Bruce Wayne never carries a gun, but then I have a Doctor Strange Fate, which is absolutely Dr. Fate was pretty good character. Not dog water, absolutely terrible. Anybody who sits here and says Black Adam was a good movie, you need to go jump off the nearest building. Maybe not jump off a building, but terrible movie, absolutely atrocious.
Well, Jason remembers those.
Jason, my man, coming in clutch. Yeah, Amalgam. So these are pretty cool comics. Like I've not opened them up and read them, obviously, because I don't want to
spoil them
and ruin them. But the art is absolutely fantastic, and that's the cool thing because you see there's a friendly banter between Marvel and DC at times. Like mine's just straight up like no, absolutely not like. But you got the Marvel fans that are like, DC's trash. You have the DC loyalists that are like, Marvel's absolute garbage. And it's been like that since there's a few people. Like I've met one person that likes both.
It's like the old days of the console wars of Nintendo versus Sega.
Right. Yeah. Or Xbox and PlayStation and whatnot. But
right.
And then I have this one. You might like this one. It's Spider-Boy. So I don't know if it's a combination of like Beast Boy and Spider-Man they're pretty cool comics. So like I will say if you're a Marvel fan, whether you're a Marvel fan, DC fan, check these out. They're really
I'm sensing some sarcasm from Crimson Raptor here saying it was awesome, but then the Hurley emojis.
Well, and here's the thing, typically, Saturday Night Sith, we do Saturday stuff, but I just wanted just go into really quick if you'll allow me.
No. Have I not always made the firm, point that we are Sith, right? We are allowed to do as we dang well please.
Darth Bane, thank you.
So absolutely. While we do have a strong focus on Star Wars, I do allow us the open table to discuss anything else. So,
well, I just think it's absolutely funny for there might be some that like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I personally don't care for him, but he actually he thought that he was going to become Black Adam and actually take over DC before James Gunn did. I think it's absolutely just asinine to just think that you even, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're not even that good of, in my opinion, you're not even that good of an actor, and then to come on board with this movie and think that you're going to run things like that's I don't know.
Okay, so you as a DC guy and all, what have you felt? Okay, so before we get to my main question for you, before with the current with what they started with the whole Snyderverse and stuff like that, where are you for the feeling of how that went? Like, were you positive about it? Are you like Snyder? The part of the diehard like Snyder cut and all that jazz, or were you, was it
Here's
like
the thing.
did you have your problems with it? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. So I will say the first, I forget who did, not Russo brothers. I forget who did the first Justice League. First of all, the whole Ben Affleck, that whole universe, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, is just trash. Like I thought Ben Affleck, when I remember I was watching, and I'll get into my answer, but I remember I was watching I don't know, on the TV. Ben Affleck was, I don't know, was on some show. I don't know if I saw clips of it. I don't know if he's on the Oprah show or whatnot, but I remember him announcing that he was the next Batman, and I'm pretty sure I threw something at my TV, and it may have been
were the
myself.
Daredevil flashbacks coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh, terrible. Absolutely just terrible. So the Snyderverse, so like the first Justice League was absolute trash. Like absolute trash. Like Jason Momoa, just garbage. As like none of them fall. And here's the thing: this is the tired old argument, and it doesn't matter if you're DC or you're Marvel. Like nobody ever gets these movies even close to the comic books. And as a comic book fan, at least for myself, I'm not speaking for all comic book fans. Like there's always that hope that you would be able to get close to or stay true to like lore and
properly
the books
adapting the character,
right?
Yeah.
Like you're Spider-Man fan, like how often did they actually get close to the comics? I will say the Tobey Maguire movies, as terrible as they may have been, or the reception was, like they did get good. Like the comic book characters, I felt were pretty close, or as closer than most of the movies. And you would be better to speak on that than me, but no, that whole universe I think is trash. Like Ben Affleck, terrible.
You didn't like that. So you legitimately did not like Ben Affleck as Batman. Batman Bruce Wayne.
Absolutely.
Really?
Not.
What was it? What was it about his performance and everything that took you out of it?
I think when you it's I guess in a sense it's not very fair, because when you have the greats like Michael Keaton, Adam West, and Adam West was the more comedic, like the TV series, obviously, but like he's
this
still
is the more
greats,
fun,
right?
light version.
Right.
Yeah,
This
is before we got the dark and gritty and everything.
Right. I think for me, being a DC fan and loving the darkness of like Detective Comics and everything, I just don't. I don't know. I don't think he did a very good role portraying him. I think when you have the great, it's hard to fill though. So maybe it's not entirely fair. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but like when you have like, so one of my favorite Batman of all time is I think Michael Keaton probably has a little bit one up on Christian Bale, but that's because I love Tim Burton's like just the
style
feel,
and everything.
the style.
Yeah.
Like, you watch the movie, it's Tim Burton.
Yeah, like I've heard people put it is that like even Gotham itself has much more of a character going on.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful. Oh, that's a wonderful way to put it. Like
I think that was Nerdrotic that has described it.
The city itself could be a character, you know. Yeah. So, but like Christian Bale is absolutely probably my all-time favorite. Like Batman's, I think, in that universe, that style. Like I love that. But Ben Affleck, I don't know. I think it's just hard because I don't like him as like he's great. He's a great actor. He's a fantastic director. But as a Batman, I just don't feel like we got the Batman that we deserved. Quote from Dark Knight.
Because I did watch the Batman v Superman. I didn't think he was bad in the role personally, but
I don't know.
I mean, that was me.
Yeah. And then this whole like I don't know the whole
what was your thoughts on the Man of Steel?
I think Henry Cavill did a decent job at it. Like I did like him.
Yeah, like I do think he's kind of like he had the look.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
As Superman, like if you needed anybody that could perfectly fit that look, it was him.
I don't know. The one thing I will say, because Snyder does there is a cult following of Snyder. Like
just a bit.
100%. And but for as long as those movies were, like I felt like you could have done maybe a little bit better job like giving depth to the characters. Like you did get depth, but like with Cyborg and Darkseid, the reason why I absolutely just despise that like Snyder's
Justice League version.
Justice League is he put Darkseid in there, but he absolutely just botched the character of Darkseid. Like he was in the movie, he was in
nerfed
the movie for all probably nuked him all of probably 4 minutes of this whole movie. And if you know anything about like Darkseid is one like he's like the Thanos of he's better than Thanos, but he's like it's Darkseid and you you butcher him, and then like Desaad, that character. And I'm not a huge Desaad. I'm not too knowledgeable about him, but Desaad was a freaking torture, man. You read Tom Taylor's Deceased, like he's in there straight up torturing Cyborg. So it's like, I don't know. I just felt like could have been better. But there's some people that love it, and there's some people that hate it, and there's a lot more people that hate it than love it. So I think it's better than what we originally got, but I think it could have been better. But you know,
and then so Joss Whedon's Justice League. Do you feel like that was a little more fun or a little more closer? Do you feel, or
no, I would,
or was that still just as bad as Snyder's?
I think.
How do you feel?
I think Snyder's. I think, in my opinion, Snyder's was better than Whedon's from the perspective of depth. Like you got a little bit more depth, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very curious to see like if James Gunn like
that. Well, okay, now that was going to be my next question to you, because I wanted to at least get like your thoughts on the whole Snyder verse version of the DC characters. You've heard of what James Gunn is doing, setting up for his
he did his State of the Union,
right, and I think we even kind of went over some of that too. But then how do you feel about where he's already kind of starting out with a lot of this? What are you feeling? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you optimistic full on? I mean, I was like, so pumped, let's go.
So I was definitely cautious. I was very cautious. Well, when it was first announced that he was coming to DC, I was like, this is absolutely just the worst thing that is ever going to happen, because he came from Marvel. Right? And I'm not even talking about like the comments that he made on his Twitter.
We'll put that aside. We'll judge by the work alone.
Yeah, anybody that's coming from DC, I'm like, anybody who's coming from Marvel, I'm like, it's trash. But he did the State of the Union, if you will, of DC, and I watched the video, and I was pleasantly surprised because he actually had a plan. Honestly, like throwing all my biases aside, like he had a plan.
Yeah.
Well, like more so of a plan than DC's ever had. Like he has like an 8-year plan, and DC's never, to my knowledge, as long as I've been a DC fan since I was a wee lad, has ever had like a solid plan or a path that they wanted to take. And the fact that he's keeping, he wants to keep like the Elseworld, the stuff that's outside canon still in, like he still wants to keep that, and the canon's going to flow, because anytime you watch a movie within DC, like nothing flows, really nothing outside Christopher Nolan's, and that was because obviously Christopher Nolan, like that was he was basing that off his, his 3 movies, like nothing really. Yeah, it's just hard. It jumps all over the place. So I'm very curious to see where it goes. I'm optimistic, but again, I could be wrong. Like we could be getting these movies. Like there's one movie where it's the Blue Beetle and freaking George Lopez is in it. I'm like,
that's the thing. The Blue Beetle and then the Flash movie, those are like their Elseworld movies. Yeah. And I can only see that the problem with that, and especially in terms of like the viewer base, who's gonna really care?
Well, and I think
considering it's not gonna be connected to James Gunn's DC universe.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, and you have to understand maybe not necessarily Blue Beetle, but the Flash movie was already in the works before he took over. And I think I'm really irritated with DC, because they should have shut that movie down. Ezra Miller is a dog water Flash.
A twisted little ferret. He's a dog. He didn't win me with his performance. Like he came off almost like he was kind of like being like a weird copy of a Spider-Man, but not Spider-Man. Like
no,
I don't know. But then I can't say that I've really watched or see. The only Flash that I'm really acquainted with is the CW Flash. And I watched that for only like 2 seasons. But Grant Gustin, he did a good performance. I thought certainly. I haven't read the comics, so I don't know his personality or anything like that. So.
Well, if you watch any warning, So Grant Gustin, absolutely fantastic Flash. I would have much rather. I was so just disgusted with the fact that they went with Ezra Miller. Like they gave Ezra Miller another movie. This is like in the whole thing. Hawaii thing. He's a trash Flash.
Right.
He's a terrible actor. He like. I just.
he's a demented little ferret. Yeah.
Yeah, I think apparently he played, and I mean, you can't really whatever argument you want to make. Like he played a serial killer in a movie, which I think, well, that's great. You're gonna have this guy who portrayed a serial killer playing.
Well, actors will play.
I get it, but like he's just trash. I don't know him as a person, but he's a trash actor, and I think they should have given that to Grant Gustin. But no, you read the comics like Mark Waid's run. I just started Mark Waid's run, which is I think is deemed essential from a Flash. There's certain comics that you deem essential, meaning like it's its own category where you need to read it. And I don't think Mark Waid's run technically has essential on it, but I consider it essential, and it's absolutely fantastic. And if you want to know anything about the Flash, definitely give it a shot. But that pissed me off because this was before James Gunn took over, and I think I wonder if Gunn had been in charge at the time. I wonder if he would have because he shut down Snyderverse. He basically, we all know the drama with Henry Cavill. The CEO was like announced that you're coming back.
Yeah, they were very wishy-washy with that, and they were staying, and they just keep seeming to just kind of screw around with the poor guy.
Right. So I think James Gunn was just done with Snyderverse, and again, I'm not.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna come in, you're gonna probably start things from zero,
yeah.
And
I'm not mad at it, but
right.
Yeah. So I'm just curious what he would have done if he had taken it over prior to the release
from that point on.
But I'm pissed because Michael Keaton is in this movie, and so there's a comic called Batman '89, and I forget who writes it.
I've just seen that recently.
Yeah, so I've read it, and it's absolutely fantastic because it's basically the movie. It's the third movie that we should have gotten, and the fact that they're putting him as they're putting Michael Keaton. So basically, this movie is essentially is a flashpoint. It's going to reboot the universe. So again, this is comic talk, and I don't know what Marvel has that would be equivalent to maybe the Tesseract wipe, like the Reality Stone. I don't know, but basically a flashpoint is like it has to do with like Flash and the Speed Force and changing the timeline.
You don't screw with timelines, people.
Right? Timeline is malleable, my friend. The timeline is malleable. But that's essentially what it's going to do. It's going to basically, from my reading or understanding, it's going to reset the DC universe.
Right.
So, long story short, I guess to bring it to a head, I think Snyder did better than Whedon, but I think he could. There's a lot he could have done better. Right. And everybody's a critic, but there's a lot of stuff that I would have liked to have seen that I didn't see and whatnot. But as far as James Gunn, the second part of your question, James Gunn, I'm cautiously optimistic. I do like the fact that he has a plan. As long as he doesn't, butcher the characters. Yeah. So, but
it'll be interesting to see.
So, but I will not be watching this Flash movie. I think this Flash movie is absolutely terrible. The only way that I would the only way I would watch it is for Michael Keaton, but I'm not. I just refuse to watch.
Yeah, that's the key jangle to get people in. And I've heard that they will have the cameos of course Batfleck is in there. They're gonna have apparently an Adam West Batman. They're gonna have Michael Keaton, but I was hearing George Clooney and Christian Bale. So
George Clooney's in this. I'm 1000% not watching it. George Clooney. And here's the thing: for years, I had this animosity towards George Clooney, and I still somewhat do because I think he should never have taken that role. But I will give this man credit that he did come out and say that he should never have taken it.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the fact that you
well, I've heard from
that, but I still don't like you
doing all the press right now.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the initiative, the ownership of not doing it, but I still hate you for taking the role.
Right.
I don't hate him, but I mean,
no, I got you.
What are your thoughts? Are you? I mean, real quick to just bring it to
on
close,
which part?
Did you watch Snyderverse?
I didn't. Like I said, the only thing that I watched really was the Batman v Superman movie. That was I thought way too long, way too unnecessary. Like they were already jumping the shark, getting to having the two fight each other when we didn't even get an establishing movie for Batman, for this version of Batman. They brought in Wonder Woman, which I think at least at the time she'd had her movie, or I forget if that was her introduction. I didn't like Gal Gadot. I thought she was wrong for the role personally. I think they should have gone with somebody a little more. I mean, I hate to just keep throwing this actress around for it, but I mean, if you're gonna have somebody that's gonna be kind of like warrior-esque,
if
Gina
you say
Carano,
Ronda Rousey, I'm gonna slap.
No, I was gonna say Gina Carano because she at least I think has more of the look.
I was gonna slap you through my mic.
And I also just personally don't find Gal Gadot that attractive either. I personally didn't mind Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he had the good look and everything. And from my understanding, from what I've heard, he's at least read the comics and everything. So he at least had that as a positive to him. But I personally didn't mind him. I thought he was good. It was kind of him being brought in was kind of what I remember when Christian Bale was first being brought in. Everybody was very skeptical, also with Heath Ledger for Joker, because Heath Ledger at the time was kind of the teen heartthrob and everything, so nobody was really sure how he could pull off something like that. Or Heath Ledger, sorry, I've said the wrong names. But Christian Bale, people were also unsure about, and I remember on the forums, a guy was showing off. Using examples like Equilibrium and stuff like that for Christian Bale, for especially doing like the action scenes and stuff like that. And I remember, and I forgot what the second movie was, but that movie especially was like, oh, okay, he could definitely pull off that kind of personality.
Heath Ledger, one of the, probably it's hard to compare. It's very hard to compare because you had Cesar Romero, which, again, comedic Joker.
But he was still good. He was still he still had this kind of diabolicalness to him, which was good. Yeah. And he's very very chaotic too.
Yeah. And then you have, obviously Jack Nicholson, which is the gangster Joker, which is nice to see. And then you had Heath Ledger that was just Heath. He's in its own category in its own. I mean, I've read a lot of Joker comics, and Heath was he was
good for it.
Yeah, he's just insane.
But but that was kind of like the only real movie that I had checked out. I didn't watch Man of Steel. I didn't check out either of the Justice Leagues, especially Zack Snyder's, because that was like 3-4 freaking hours long.
Yeah.
I didn't check out the Wonder Woman flicks. Aquaman, I was especially like, well, it's Jason Momoa. Sorry, no. You already don't got the look for it.
No, absolutely not. Here's the thing. I'm not. How do I want to say? Do I even want to say this?
Anyways, but so I wasn't too big on the Snyderverse already. Yeah. I thought they were jumping the shark a little too much. They were too quickly trying to get to their Avengers tier movie. They weren't building properly. They weren't taking their time, which is, if they'd done that, would have been much more beneficial to them. And then going into James Gunn, you kind of have to do a reset. But again, it's like from my because again, I'm not I don't know a lot of the DC universe, but I've just been taking from what I've been hearing from other people that do that. It's again kind of rushing to certain teams and certain characters that are or would already be pre-established with a full Justice League or Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So again, it's like they should just probably start building the Trinity, which is what Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
You would think
start from there. But from the sounds of it, the Superman Legacy or whatever, that sounds very iffy, especially the titling, because that sounds more like he's already stepping down.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting a lot of hope into it. Yeah, a lot of stock into it either. And James Gunn, I once said, for when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy 1, he does Joss Whedon better than Joss Whedon. but that doesn't mean he can also then carry over to other teams and stuff like that. Like he's like people said, he's good at taking like unknowns sort of superhero characters, which Guardians of the Galaxy, while they had their following, wasn't as big as like a Spider-Man or something like that.
You're right.
But he did do well. I enjoyed the first two movies. I haven't seen the third one yet. But Gunn, it's hard for me to ignore the comments that he's made gotten a pass for it.
Yeah,
but especially then, like he did have like his, because I would be unfair. I was like, I can't just hold one, not the other, because like Ezra Miller has done some horrendous freaking shit.
Absolutely,
James Gunn has said some pretty reprehensible shit, and I think both should be held accountable for that. Well, hey, because that's fair. You got it's the, what was it they like to say? You have freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I would love the best for the DC universe and for the MCU. I want good things to come out of both, to have some entertaining content to watch, to get out of it for a bit, because that's all it's kind of wanted, is just something goofy and fun to enjoy. But unfortunately, I would love to be cautiously optimistic, but I'm just like, let
me get your thoughts on really quick. I mean, you're a Spider-Man guy. I don't know if you watched any animated movies. What are your thoughts about this End of the Spider-Verse?
I've only Mr. Bug on Twitter got one from the high seas, so to speak.
Yeah,
and he watched it and was kind of reviewing it live on Twitter.
Yeah,
so I know the ending, and I won't spoil it for anybody. From what I heard, it's pretty humorous.
Yeah,
it almost makes me want to check it out, but I don't care for Miles Morales. I'm not a fan. I don't like his character too much.
I don't know a lot about his character. He's from another universe, I'm assuming.
And I just know that this is Sony and Marvel trying to get Peter Parker out of the Spider-Man mantle and trying to replace him with somebody else.
Yeah,
it's coming sooner or later. I don't like it.
Are they gonna just?
I also don't
get rid of him.
They're gonna do something, but the thing is I also just don't really like the whole multiverse aspect. I think you need to keep things contained. This whole multiverse thing just sometimes feels like cheap ways out of some things. It can be it can be fun, sure, to see like what if stories and stuff like that. Fine. But when they are getting introduced into the main continuity and everything, not so much. Yeah. So while I would love, and the thing is too, is like, I haven't even seen the first movie. I heard it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
The second movie, it's like, I just haven't seen them. And so, and I don't know if I have much of an urge to. I may just finally just go, okay, I'll take a look just to see what some of the hoopla is about. But
yeah.
But yeah,
I agree. I mean, I've not watched them clearly, obviously, because I'm not a Marvel guy, but I was curious to get your theory, because I mean, I've heard a lot of good. I've heard one person say it's absolutely fantastic,
right?
And that one person seems to be pretty critical of.
Well, and the funny thing is too is like, I'm somebody that has to go to the source material to enjoy something, especially because like a lot of times people are like, oh, this is like in the realm for like Japanese anime. Oh, watch the anime. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. But the first thing is, if there's the comic version first, the manga comic, they're the same freaking thing. But yeah, if I check out, I have to check out the manga first. I have to go to the source.
Right.
And if I don't like the source, if I can't get into the source, no, I will then just avoid the anime. Some people think I'm a little crazy for that, but I think you have to have that strong foundation from the source material to then adapt it, to another medium. So, and that's where I have to go. And I didn't I tried to give Miles Morales, for example, a chance. In the comics, when he was first introduced, they killed off the original Peter Parker, but this was like the ultimate verse. They killed him off, and they introduced Miles. He was not that interesting for the most part. He was, to a degree, just kind of another. He's just a race swap Peter Parker. I love Young Ripa, what Young Ripa calls him, which is Peter Darker.
Yeah,
and he had nothing really defining himself. He was still just kind of using off of some of Spider-Man's villains. And he had only a few little unique things here and there, mainly for his schooling. He's super smart. Was in a super smart school, while Peter was more like in a regular high school and everything like that. He's kind of the boy genius sort of trope there. I haven't. So I couldn't get into him, and I laughed too because in the Ultimate Verse they revived the original Peter Parker, anyways. So that kind of tells you how they felt about Miles,
right?
And then when they did this whole event, they introduced him into the 616 universe. He was still floundering. It wasn't. So I couldn't get into the character. So that was especially why I did not really check out. No, yeah, Wookie, I know Peter was a genius as well. He's just in a different setting too. Like one was more nurtured, one wasn't, sort of thing. That's what I did clarify that a bit. But yeah, so that's why I had no real interest to check out the first one, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because I was like, oh, okay, so here we go. We are trying to. And that's also why I didn't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, was because they basically they showed that they wanted to make him Miles, because he had basically Miles's setting, his friends, Genki, the fat Asian kid, and it was in the kind of prestigious school, special school for gifted kids, basically, and not like a regular high school sort of thing. So I saw, and so Into the Spider-Verse, again, with that movie, I've only heard a few things. Like I kind of heard they kind of took a big dump on Peter in that movie, but I just didn't bother with it. And this movie, while I heard good things from Mr. Bug, especially like some of the ending and stuff like that, I'm just not that interested, and I just can't. No, I'm just
like no.
Yeah, I kind of got my fill with the whole last movie, because with the last live action, I should say, with the three Parkers, the three Spider-Men. I felt like at least it gave some justice to Andrew Garfield for his Spider-Man, because I was like, he got kind of a shit second movie.
Garfield did?
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. Absolutely. He got kind of a shit second movie in my book, but they kind of in No Way Home, they kind of gave him a bit of a redemption for it, and it showed that he could have still been a great Spider-Man and everything. And Toby was, he was just kind of like back into that role, and he was just an aged Spider-Man where I could see it'd be really cool if they did the storyline of the What If series they did of more of him in the parental role with Mayday, with his daughter Mayday, and kind of having that side of things, because I almost thought they were going to go that route with the movie, with the No Way Home, especially with him fighting Goblin again and everything. But they didn't, so I was like, okay. But I could really, and he was kind of in this almost. They almost could have given him like the mentor role in the movie, and he kind of was. And it would have been really cool. It could be really cool to get him more in that. So I saw potential, it's unfortunately I just don't see it going to be going forward, that they're going to be doing any justice to the character.
So what are your thoughts on the fact that they brought back all the big names? Was it a cop out? Was it like, what are your thoughts on that? Like
key jangling, but at the same time they handled it well. And this Flash movie feels like some major key jangling just to go, oh, look who we got. But I mean, again, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know how well it's being handled. So Yeah. But the No Way Home, it was like basically it was building up to introducing the other two Spider-Men. And it was to me, I enjoyed that once it got to that bit a little bit before. I didn't like the switch around for Aunt May giving him the great power comes with great responsibility. To me, that is Uncle Ben's line that has to be given.
Yeah.
Because again, that's like adaptation sort of stuff. You got to keep elements there. So they dropped it on that one, but they seem to have been trying to stay away from poor Uncle Ben. The only comic character that ever stays dead besides Batman's parents.
Yeah, and that's messed up because everybody gets to come back, but freaking Thomas and Martha, which go suck a fart. Everybody else gets to come back but them. So it's like, whatever. Here's my opinion. You tell me if you disagree, but I felt like it was just like, I don't know. It's like they couldn't come up with a better story. And I haven't watched the movie, so maybe
Which movie?
I can't. Far From Home or No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah.
So maybe I can't speak to it, but it's like you can't come up with a good story, so you have to basically bring in all the nostalgic characters like Doc Ock and
and
absolutely
Green Goblin.
Love William Dafoe. I haven't seen obviously all of William Dafoe's movies, but like Boondock Saints, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And so, but in my opinion, and then like Spider-Man 2, I mean, one of the best character, in my opinion, in that movie was I can't think of his name, but he plays Doc Ock.
Joseph Molino, I want to say his name is.
Yes. So, I don't know. It's like, you really, guys, like, you can't come up with anything else. So, you got to bring these characters in. I mean, this is kind of my opinion.
I mean, the thing is, Alfred Molina was Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Believe me, it was kind of how I felt, but it was like their way of also giving the chance to bring it back down to scale. I think for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I'm not gonna excuse all of it, but that at least seemed to be the thought process for it. But I won't lie. I got suckered in a little bit too with the return of Molina and Willem Dafoe, because I mean, again, he just freaking kills it as Norman Osborn / Green Goblin. Yeah, I just think he was such a great cast for it. So yeah. Let me go through these comments really quick. I stopped. I kind of wanted to go back because Jason did throw in Spider-Boy, known as Pete Ross, is the amalgam of Superboy and Marvel's Spider-Man Ben Reilly, which was Spider-Man's clone, who, which is hilarious, has gotten his own superhero name. He did try on the Spider-Man mantle for a short time, but he did get his own costume and he did become the Scarlet Spider. So,
which amalgam was that? The Spider Boy?
That was whatever you were talking about.
Spider Boy.
Yes. Yeah. And then Brandon Tran. Hey, Brandon, how's it going, man? He jumped in and said Michael Keaton was an epic Batman. Absolutely. Keaton is a goat. Love Bale too, but when it went from Bale to Affleck, ouch. Jason loves the Bat flick. It's his favorite. Brendan Tran is saying if the Flash movie was less Ezra's Flash and more Michael Keaton Batman, more people would definitely watch it. Probably. But I think Ezra Miller still brings a mighty stink to the flick, even just being associated with it. So
absolutely,
they would possibly gain a little bit more. So yeah. Jason saying we would have gotten more Darkseid if the drama and shit happened. Not sure what drama. Snyder cut of Justice League is more watchable than 2017 Justice League because it had too many weird Avengers jokes. Well, that's kind of Whedon's thing. He likes his quips. He's a very quippy writer. But I'd say if you had to go between like James Gunn and Joss Whedon, I'd take Gunn. He does a little bit better.
I hate this
for
Marvel humor. Like
I agree with you. I agree with you because it's sunk its way into everything, even freaking Star Wars. So
no, for
I always
sure.
felt like Star Wars had its own sense of humor.
Yeah, like you find it in. I was gonna say like even in James Gunn's freaking Peacemaker movies, because I think he did Peacemaker.
And
it's just stupid. Can't stand it.
Let's see. Gunn should stick to other stuff, but not main characters, etc. That's kind of what we were talking about. Guns like to be more gritty and dark. Also, when he gets control. Oh yeah, because he kind of did like already like a alternative take on Superman, didn't he? It was like forgot what the hell it was called, but it's like an evil Superman thing, which I'm all dog. Nope. Oh, shit.
What is it?
Oh, my dog. Getting caught in some Hang on. Thank you, Jason. Brightburn. Yeah, that was it. The evil, like basically Superman story. Let's see. Also said Gunn loves to put R-rated on hero stuff if he can and have control. Brandon saying, who's the best actor that played Flash? John Wesley Shipp, the 90s Flash, Grant Gustin, CW Flash, or Michael Rosenberg, animated Justice League? Who would you say? I can't speak for the 90s Flash. I have not seen that iteration. I've been thinking about going and checking it out, though, but I've not seen that. I have seen I've seen Grant Gustin, and I don't know. That's kind of a tough thing to add an animated version of the character that's just providing a voice role.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times the animation's doing a lot of the work while the voice is providing that little bit extra. But I mean, probably I'd just say maybe like a tie up between the two, just to be a bitch and bitch out. He chokes women. I believe that was in reference to Ezra Miller. Yes, he chokes them bitches out. Flash is not Elseworld 100%. Okay. Gunn is a hit or miss when it comes to movies. I like Guardians of the Galaxy, but when he can control more, we will get shit like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. I haven't seen either of those, but yeah, I haven't heard the best of things. I've heard some good things about the Suicide Squad. Peacemaker,
absolutely trash.
Okay.
I mean, smash
that like button.
I apologize. That was aggressive. It's absolute trash.
Be honest. That's all I ask of you.
It's trash.
Yeah,
it's absolutely trash. It's
Cage,
not
Superman.
even good. The Amanda Waller, she was, I guess, somewhat decent, but overall, just trash. I don't like the style of it. I don't like the portrayal of the Suicide Squad. In my opinion, like I've not read a lot of Suicide Squad comics. I have read some.
Yeah.
It's just garbage. I don't like that style. It's too Marvel-esque, and maybe did Gunn do Suicide Squad? I feel like
he did the Suicide Squad. So that was the second. Yeah, that was the second one.
I don't like that style. I don't like it. Like, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that John freaking Cena is Peacemaker or Peacekeeper, whatever it is. Peacekeeper. I watched like the first 30 seconds of it, and even King Shark, they butcher King Shark. It's like, why can't you get these characters? I'm sweating because I'm mad. It's like, why can't you get these characters somewhat decent. Like, it's just so stupid.
No.
Absolutely stupid.
It's a frustrating thing when you see characters just get butchered, and when they could just be much more easily just be accurate with the portrayal.
But for whatever reason, they can't. Like King Shark you butchered King Shark out. Like you bastard. Like King Shark is in my opinion, is an amazing character, and just. I mean, that irritated me. Just the stupid humor. Like, there's a part of the movie, I think it's maybe the second one, where Peacemaker and this other guy are basically they're going through this camp or whatever they're in, and they're going tit for tat with killing people. And then like John Cena, like I don't know, does the whole like I don't know, this fist bump thing, and it's just I'm not a fan of John Cena. Not a fan of it, but I think the Amanda Waller, like the lady who played Amanda Waller, did somewhat decent, but again, that was probably it.
Work. Spartacus, hey buddy. Oh, he named the Brightburn. Okay, cool. Not evil Superman. Yeah, that evil Superman movie. And then where was it? I thought I saw it. So Brandon had asked, if we've seen Bumblebee is better than the last Bay Transformers movie? ? I've heard it's one of the better Transformers movies. I have not seen it. I have seen the first 3 Michael Bay Transformers movies, and good God, hot garbage a plot. But I have not seen Bumblebee. I've heard good things, but yeah. Because here, if watch Bumblebee, Travis Knight is a fan of G1s more than current DCU movies, which is outside the comics. There's been all sorts of funny stuff with that. Spartacus saying there were jokes in the Suicide Squad that were overdone. They messed up Starro and made him quote unquote poor victim of the U.S. government, and I didn't need to see a dick flopping around. Oh Lord, nobody needs to see that flopping around. Maybe some nice big titties, not a dick. Don't need that. And Brandon was saying King Shark. Here you go. King Shark is played by Rocky Sylvester Stallone, right? I believe so. I believe that's what I heard. So
I believe so. I don't know.
Yeah, that for sure. That's a nice little trip down some other things besides the norm. Got anything else you want to add on to that topic? Any?
Nope. Just don't watch Suicide Squad or any of that,
or even Ezra Miller's Flash.
Absolutely not.
He says, "Yeah, that was sly." Okay.
They're just trash, and again, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I feel bad because we're supposed to be talking about Star Wars, but I think this is a nice change of pace.
It's fine. Hey, like I said, it's
Ezra Miller's trash. Again, and everybody's a critic, and people are like, well, if you're a DC fan, you should like all DC. And it's like, I get what you're saying. But again, I don't think Ezra Miller is just absolute. Like I physically get like I'm sweating right now, not because I've been moving these dumb comics for the last 20 minutes, but because like just the thought of Ezra Miller as Flash, it genuinely irritates me. Like he is. I don't even know. I can't. It really irritates me that he was not canceled. So you're gonna sit here and you're gonna cancel. What's his name? Who plays Superman? Oh my goodness, Henry Cavill. You're going to cancel Henry Cavill, who, in my opinion, portrayed a very good Superman. But you're going to give this guy, Ezra Miller, who was the absolute dog. You know what? I would rather take a dog water actor over Ezra Miller because, like, I can deal with that. I could handle that. Ezra Miller is just the abomination to the role.
Right.
But you're going to give him another movie. Well, it's fair because we get, Man of Steel, and then it was Justice League or Rise of Superman versus Batman. Like he had his second movie, so it's only fair. Like, no, screw you. Like, it's no. I shouldn't. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say screw you. That's not very kind.
Kids show.
Well, I just shouldn't. But no, like you're going to give him you're going to give him a second move, and it's like he's not deserving of it. He did a terrible job. He portrayed and part of the blame obviously goes on the producer and the director, but he's a terrible actor, butchered the film. He's done just from a decent human being perspective, like the thing, like the whole Hawaii thing, the domestic disturbance, like you're going to cancel Gina Carano because of she stood up for her conservative beliefs. And then you've got this guy who's out running amok, starting a kerfuffle in Hawaii, but you're going to award him with another movie. Like, come on.
Yeah, they've already talked about keeping him for a potential sequel if it gets it.
Which is just stupid. And then you make, and I get that I understand that you have to have a Flashpoint movie. You have to reboot the universe because James Gunn's coming in here. I'm good with it. Right, because within comics, within the Flash, like many times there's been Flash.
Yeah.
Call Grant Gustin, who did an impeccable job, all things considered. Like you can sit here, not you, but I'm saying you can sit here and fight me and argue with me that he was terrible. He was much better than Ezra Miller. And if you don't think, I question your mental capacity if you sit there and argue against me, because Ezra Miller was absolutely terrible, the worst. I'm
not going to argue with you.
Portray him better, the Flash better than what he did.
Oof. I don't know if we'll go that far.
I would. Absolutely.
Okay.
So it just comes down to just like, I don't know if it's necessarily I don't even really think it has like a woke agenda per se, but it's like you're going to sit here and award this guy another movie. You're going to take but you're going to remove Henry Cavill. Like you're talking both sides of the mouth. You're going to sit there and say we're going to ex-nay, Snyderverse, but we're going to leave this guy in here because we have to use him to reset the whole Flashpoint, the universe. When you could call Grant Gustin, like it's just I'm sweating, Fractured. I'm over here sweating. I'm sweating over this. Like it's ridiculous. Like
let the hate flow through you. I understand. It can be a frustrating thing when you see people that are completely wrong for the role, yet they still keep getting rewarded and more accolades.
You open the world between world door here. How are you going to make him the main guy? Like, how do you think Michael Keaton? Like, he's probably just excited to come back and reprise the role. But in what do you think he's feeling? In what capacity do you think he's feeling? You're like, man, I gave them the two most iconic movies,
right?
Within DC lore, outside Christopher Nolan. And here's the other thing: somebody at work told me that this movie, the critics are saying this movie outside Nolan's movies is the best superhero movie to date. I want to find out if it's the CEO from Rotten Tomatoes. I want to know who's saying this. I'm not seeing the movie, so I guess I can't really comment. But actually, no, I can comment because I know Ezra Miller, and I know that I saw what the Flash he portrayed, and I don't think, I don't know, unless Michael Keaton's carrying the weight of the team. Which, if that's the case, shame on you for not giving him a third movie. Shame on you for not bringing back Billy D. Williams and letting us see how he transitions into the Joker. Like in the '89 comic.
Oh, you mean Two-Face?
I'm sorry, Two-Face. Yes. We didn't really. There's a Long Halloween where I think it's a fantastic comic. Haven't read all the way through it, but it alludes to how Two-Face becomes Two-Face, losing his wife and house exploding and
all that stuff.
Yeah. All the while, like I love Christopher Nolan's rendition of how how Harvey Dent became Two-Face with the dynamic between him and Rachel Dawes. Even though that's all another that it wasn't based on the comics. That was a novel, but you're gonna sit here and play Ezra Miller in it. You're not even gonna give us a third Batman that we deserve. Like, you all can suck a Chipotle fart. A Chipotle, Del Taco, McDonald's, Wendy's fart.
You heard it here, folks.
It just makes no sense, man.
No, I hear you.
Like, I'm over here, just got a towel, wiping my sweat, but it's just irritating, man. But it's the same thing. I get probably equally frustrated and angry with the Thrawn stuff, because you're gonna sit here and bring. Do I want to go down this route? I need to check my blood pressure.
All right, you check your blood pressure. Let me get to some of these comments here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check my blood pressure.
Brandon saying, I saw Bumblebee back in 2018, and it was more enjoyable than Revenge of Fallen and Dark Side of the Moon. Felt like 80s G1 movie brought to life. Oh, okay, cool. Crimson Raptor saying, Hitman, Ezra Miller is a they. Get it right, you get it right, you transphobic bigot. Spartacus says, I might want to mention Ezra Miller isn't confirmed to return or not. There is no Flash projects coming anytime soon. The comment about him possibly returning is from the director of Flash, not Gunn. No, that's very true. But they have made the point that they could still continue their quote unquote Elseworld cinematic side of movies, while James Gunn will have the main focus for the DC universe or cinematic universe, whatever. Brendan Tran saying the movie reviewers must be being secretly paid by Hollywood. I wouldn't doubt it for 1 second. I've never trusted Hollywood or any reviewers personally. Spartacus then says Jace read that Two-Face comic with Billy D. Williams' characters. He said it was crude. Oh, okay. Crimson Raptor, how do you limit Chipotle to a fart? I eat it and have to call my plumber the next day. Oof. And Spartacus, Filoni ripping off Thrawn trilogy like he ripped off Tales of the Jedi. Yeah. And he won't stop there, brother. He'll run wild on the EU, claiming it's his own. Ooh. So, yeah, that's at least all caught up there. How are you doing, sir? You calming down a bit?
Just drinking bubbly.
All right.
So, yeah, so I guess we could go over some. I did see there are two, not that we'll ever review these, and if you say we are, I'm going to slap you through this mic. Two Star Wars little things that did come out on. Let me pull it up here. I was going to text you last night. I didn't. So they have Young Jedi Adventures and Visions 2 did come out. I thought that was not this month.
Yeah, they did come out.
Yeah, not that we'll be reviewing them at all.
Well, yeah, the one thing is like a little kids show, which is just going to be dumb kid stuff. And Visions is like not connected to continuity technically,
yeah.
So
no real reason.
So yeah, I figured we don't have to. Then we can just take it easy. Well, I may be getting your blood pressure up again because, as we know from the lovely folks over there at Disney Lucasfilm, they like to maintain consistency by being inconsistent and by even doing so with their actors, or at least certainly allowing their actors to do so. Here we go. So, Star Wars live action Thrawn actor purposefully avoided rewatching Rebels. Because, okay. Let me get through this. Okay, Wookie, I'll check that once we get through this article. So Ahsoka actor Lars Mikkelsen revealed he did not watch Star Wars Rebels before making his live-action debut in the franchise as Grand Admiral Thrawn. After years of playing the Chiss military mastermind in animation, Mikkelsen will take on his Star Wars role yet again in the upcoming Rosario Dawson-led Disney Plus series. Before being officially announced for the series, the Danish actor played quite coy about the Ahsoka role. However, with the Ghost crew reassembling, Lucasfilm came calling for its iconic Rebels villain because they are trying to build off of Luke's legacy and replacing him with Ahsoka, basically. The actor has not played Thrawn for more than 6 years, last being seen in the Rebels finale back in 2017. Something one would think Mikkelsen would revisit in anticipation for his live-action debut. According to Thrawn actor Lars Mikkelsen, he purposefully avoided rewatching Star Wars Rebels in preparation for the upcoming Ahsoka series. In an appearance on Entertainment Weekly's Dagobah Dispatch, Mikkelsen was asked if he ever went back to Rebels to quote-unquote quote familiarize himself with how he voiced him and played him before. The Thrawn star noted, no, he didn't. He actually actively detached himself from any past performance. So Dagobah Dispatch asked, did you ever go back? So that's the question about ever going back. Mikkelsen, no, I didn't really. We needed to do something else, so I wanted to detach myself from that to create something new. On the subject of playing the character, Mikkelsen told On Demand Entertainment at Star Wars Celebration it was important he adapt his Star Wars villain for the new medium, as there are certain things that you can do with a cartoon that you can't do in live action. He said, well, you do need to adapt. I mean, it being live action, so there's a certain things that you can do. So it's basically reiterating that. But in terms of embodiment of the character itself, I felt like I had practice, for 5 or 6 years. Because even when we're voicing it in a box, we're still sort of doing it. Still making the moves in that box and doing that thing. I mean, I felt I had practice. And then he added, Mikkelsen being asked ODE, was it a shock to look at yourself in the mirror, though, the first day and makeup and go? It was. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're phenomenally good people that are working at that, and it takes better part of 3 hours to do the transition. But yeah, that was weird. So yeah. So here's where I'm kind of looking at it. I understand that you are adapting this to a new medium, to live action. And like he already says, they're basically doing the movements and stuff in the booth, in the voice box room. And if you've looked at anything regarding Batman the Animated Series, same thing that like Mark Hamill was known for, was being very animated while doing the voice. So that comes as no surprise. But the thing is that you are taking the character from his point A to now point B, where he's going to be. You should have, I think, some familiarity of where that character came from originally. So you can at least still have those certain quirks, those certain like delivery, and even just kind of seeing how they portrayed him in animation to take that on to yourself to bring into the role. So again, this is where it always comes down to. They are always consistent at being inconsistent, and even with their characters. So he's not bringing. He's basically restarting the character himself, from what I'm interpreting from this.
Right.
And I just find that, not surprising, but again, still just a little baffling that you wouldn't have that kind of prep for a character you've already portrayed.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I just, anytime I think about Thrawn and I just, I don't even want to think about. I don't even want to think about it, because I know that there's no, dare I say, like, one, I don't even want them. I don't even know what to say. Like, part of me, sometimes I think about, like, if they were to adapt, if they were to make a Thrawn movie, if they were to do that, it would 1,000% unequivocally have to be adapted from the book. There's no other way to do it. But the other half of me absolutely does not want them to do it. And then, like what you just read, like, what is this actor bringing to the table?
Right.
Like, honestly, like, they're going to do what they're going to do.
The main thing that he's bringing is the fact that he already voiced the character. He has
okay, fine, great. You okay, like, again, like, you voice the character. That doesn't mean that you're knowledgeable about the character. That doesn't mean you know anything about the character. Like, you voiced it. You voiced an animated character that was
Right.
under the, you know, under the direction of baloney.
Exactly.
Like, so again, like, if you're talking about like what cards you hold no cards. You don't. You hold a Joker. It's worth nothing. So
no, I agree.
I don't know. Like, that's so stupid to say. Like, oh,
even,
well,
the funny thing is, like, even in this article, it's pointing out how for Obi-Wan Kenobi, Grand Inquisitor actor Rupert Friend also said he did not watch Rebels to prepare for the character's live-action debut. Friend said that he almost deliberately did not see the animated interpretation so he could do something fresh without the character, without doing a kind of impression of anybody. But the problem with that is that the character was already established a certain way. So yes, you do kind of have to do an impression, especially if you are trying to maintain that consistent character. I mean, put his looks aside alone. Yeah, he already didn't have the mannerisms, you know, the movement and stuff like that. That's the sort of things that they still should be looking at and trying to capture and bring to the live action. Reinterpret that in the live action. Because yes, that's part of keeping that character consistent, you know, still maintaining that continuity. All those little things to help really flesh out the world and keep it interesting. But I mean, it's just like the next even though it's the same person that voiced the character in terms of Mickelson, I guess he just thinks he can do it better. I don't know. In live action, I don't know.
Again, if you're going to sit there and make the argument, well, I'm the best man for the role because I voiced the animated character. Logically, I can't even. I mean, it makes you have no argument because under the pretense of, if you say, well, I voiced the voice, I'm the voice actor of the character, so I'm the best fit. Well, what knowledge you have of the character? Because the only knowledge you have of the character, or I guess that's subjective, but my head hurts. Like, you're the voice actor, and Dave Filoni did the series, so therefore you don't. In Filoni's track record, he knows nothing about Star Wars. He knows nothing about the EU. The only thing he knows about EU is that these EU characters existed, and he can literally take the EU character. And you can take that character and he literally is doing what Eobard Thawne did to Dr. Wells in the CW. He's basically sticking in this needle tube and sucking, basically conforming to that identity.
Oh, okay.
He's literally what it is. He's taking Kyle Katarn and he's taking that may have been a bad example, but he's basically taking Kyle Katarn and he's making Kyle Katarn into Andor with just ever so slight differences, meaning, let's just say Kyle Katarn never was a cook, but Andor was. But everything else is the same, meaning all the major stuff, like the Death Star plans and the pistol, the Briar pistol, and the relation, like everything's the exact same, other than Kyle Katarn didn't have nasty, long, grungy hair, and he didn't cook for the Imperials. That's the only thing, the only difference.
Well, no, and you'd think with Filoni, savior of Star Wars, Kmart cowboy himself, would want to kind of have that direction of, yes, we need to make sure that these characters are staying consistent between the lines. Again, like, I get it. This is gonna be like a span of time forward for Thrawn, so there's gonna be maybe some differences for him. That's fine, but at the same time, like I said, you need certain probably inflections of the voice, the way he portrayed it. He's not gonna remember.
Why don't we just get? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just mad. I'm just.
By all means.
Why don't we just get the voice actor from the book? Why don't you do that? Because the guy that portrayed Thrawn's voice in the book was absolutely fantastic. And again, I'm biased because there's not a single voice actor within the EU books that maybe I don't like. Like they're all like I have my favorites. Jonathan Davis is absolutely fantastic.
Top tier,
top notch. But why not do that? Why is there so much talk about this Mickelson character? I don't even know. Are you talking Phil Mickelson, the golfer? Is that who we're talking about? Who's the other Mickelson guy? The only Mickelson I know is Phil Mickelson, who left the PGA Tour to go to live golf. That's it. And who almost won the Masters. That's the only Mickelson I know. So if
Brandon's on thinks you're on point there, Hitman.
Oh, thank you.
Really good comparison of Filoni verse with Reverse Flash stealing Wells's identity. Yeah, Filoni versus stealing from the EU slowly but surely to take the identity.
Brandon, thank you so much for that call out. Like, honestly, I'm glad that you caught that because I was wondering, I was like, is this going to fit? Or no, but literally, that's all he does. There's only one singular character that he has not stolen from the EU, and that's Ahsoka.
Right.
But I'm very curious, the longer these shenanigans go on, are we going to somehow figure out later down the line that does Ahsoka have some type of traits from a hidden EU character that's not thought of or we've not drawn that comparison to? I don't know. But
no, not that. Well, wait, say that again.
Well, the longer that Ahsoka progresses in the story or whatnot, are there certain traits that he may have stolen from EU and imbued it in her? I don't know. Probably not, because I think we would have somebody, OG or Tim or Tuscan or Rage, somebody that would have caught it. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe that's Filoni's master plan. It's like, joke's on you, like or whatever.
Well, no, that is some of what like people have noticed. Like Ahsoka is essentially getting the Thrawn trilogy, which was part of Luke's storyline. So that is taking character stuff from the EU, which is unfortunate because we won't ever get certain characters, which now at this point I'm fine with. Mara Jade, my absolute favorite, is no longer, which is good. That's fine. I'm happy with that. They would just ruin her character or blackwash her because they hate redheads in Hollywood. So no, this whole thing just kind of comes off as this, again, more their inconsistency, malarkey, and like it is with the current. They couldn't adapt the Thrawn trilogy anyways with their current.
It doesn't matter. They have War Between Worlds or War
well, we'll see how that gets
World Between Worlds.
We will see how that gets implemented in the series.
It doesn't matter. They can do it. They have the means to do it.
They do indeed. No, I do. And we'll see. We will see.
I don't want to see.
But I understand.
This is their loophole. This is their pièce de résistance is the World Between Worlds. So
we will see how it gets used.
I don't want to.
I know you don't. I know.
But I know it's going to happen.
We do it so you don't have to, people.
We sit here through you think, it's easy to do this. We have to sit here through this misery of watching just asinine dog water shows like Kenobi. And then we bring you all the worst.
The hilarity of it. Yep.
All the worst parts about it.
Yep. All right. Let me just tackle some of these comments really quick. Brandon saying Jedi Adventures show is connected to High Republic, so there's no point in seeing it. Okay, good. So this is the second time an actor didn't watch previous material on a character they are playing. Correct, which we went over. It's the same character, Thrawn, in the same universe. Why are you doing something new with that character? Always no Wookie. Always no research. No research is good. Bulk hockey. Lars Mikkelsen also is the voice. It is funny. Funny that they brought him back to play the live action Thrawn, but couldn't have Ashley Eckstein to come back play the live action Ahsoka.
Yeah, you have to go with Rosario Dawson.
Yep.
And not actually, and that's another thing that I've said on the show that irritates me is that this woman, like, regardless of how I feel about Disney,
you can't become
Star
the character
Wars,
already established in previous material that you need to make it new. Then you shouldn't be doing the role. Let someone with better acting chops do it. Eric Wallace, showrunner for CW Flash show, does same thing. Overuse female characters over the main character, just like Filoni. I heard it got really bad.
It did.
I stopped around season 2.
Brandon, are you talking about like the later seasons of the Flash? I wonder if he's talking about the later seasons of the Flash, because that's 100% true. Like they brought, well, I don't know, like there's, yeah, you may not know the characters, but I think I understand what Brandon's saying.
Yeah. All right. So here is what Wookie sent me. I don't know if you're gonna be interested in this at all.
So you can get my blood pressure raised. Is it?
Probably
I
not.
swear, Wookie, if this is pizza with pineapple on it, I'm gonna freaking fly out there.
No, this is something else. No, Little Mermaid negative reviews compel IMDb to change the rating system. So I don't know if you're aware that they've released this live action Little Mermaid that's caused.
I'm done. Bye. If you continue with this, I'm done. I'm done.
Wookie, you've killed my co-host. Well, so, and the funny thing is, it's like it's being technically review bombed by the critics. That's where it's getting, I believe, hit from regular reviewers, regular people reviewing it, but like a lot of the negative reviews have come from regular critics. Last I knew. But it's funny that apparently, I guess, yeah, the Internet Movie Database has changed its rating system for the newly released live-action Little Mermaid amid unusual voting activity. The Halle Bailey-led film has 7 out of 10 rating on the site, so what's the big deal? But a few crabby users, also known as review bombers, last I knew those were even some of the regular critics at this time, are allegedly giving the Disney flick negative scores for no good reason. Quote, our rating mechanism has detected unusual voting activity on this title. To preserve the reliability of our rating system, an alternate weighting calculation has been applied. A note on the US, Canadian, UK, Brazil, and Mexican Little Mermaid pages. IMDb continues on its fact page. Although we accept and consider all votes received by users, not all votes have the same impact or weight on the final rating. Off. When unusual voting activity is detected, an alternate weighting calculation may be applied in order to preserve the reliability of our system, the statement reads. IMDb further stated, "I won't disclose how the new method will generate the rating to ensure it remains effective." Oh, really? The post has contacted IMDb reps for comment. I find that very funny that this is happening with this movie, because there was already enough controversy surrounding it that you were erasing another redheaded character, a white character.
Javier Bardem plays Trident.
But it's just, but the funny thing is, the last time a review rating system was changed, yes, Spartacus, Netflix changed its rating system, Rotten Tomatoes changed their rating system, and now IMDb. Netflix did it because of the Amy Schumer comedy special, which, as I heard, totally messed up everything on Netflix. I haven't had Netflix in a really long time. I don't know what changed it for Rotten Tomatoes, but now it's just funny that now it's this that sparks IMDb to change their review system. I mean, it's just basically, I think, just their way of how can I put this? To basically further control even the rating systems. They want to make sure that they can give the good impression out there. They want to be able to control what they believe is the true voice of media reviews and stuff like that. So I gotta feel this could be conspiracy theory. Get your tin hats on, folks. I can't help but, with this whole thing of it was Chris, Spartacus, Captain Marvel. That's right. Got that. They got them to change their rating system there because apparently that was a real dog shit movie. But no, it's just very funny that you have these rating sites locking down their ability and changing the way people are meant to be allowed to vote and stuff like that. Because there's negative review bombing, yes, but there's also positive review bombing, giving a movie a positive score for no damn reason either. But like it is, as I were understanding it, this movie was getting kind of universally panned anyways. So I just find it funny that wait. Okay, so 2 Disney-related flicks have gotten 2 websites to change their review systems. Unless we hear Amy Schumer's was also sponsored by Disney in some way, we may have something here. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Let's go for 3 out of 3.
I would love it. But no, I do find Wookie. Thank you for sending that. I do find this particularly funny, though. Again, we got another review site no longer being transparent in their ways of allowing review systems to take place or allowing people to review as they see fit. I mean, if they are just legitimately bad reviews, which I think you'd be able to tell, especially when they're just like one word, sort of low effort reviews, okay, get rid of those. Allow just the regular, like a properly structured review. Keep those.
Yeah.
But when you're just flat out now, like, oh no, we have to change the whole system. We're moving it. Yada yada yada. Something stinks.
So what I'm gathering is they negatively reviewed this movie, and they changed the system. Is that what I'm
correct?
Okay. Well, this movie should be negatively reviewed because it's totally different. And again, I guess the argument can be made, well, look at Aladdin. They had Will Smith do portray the role.
Well, I mean, that's a genie that.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean,
however,
that I kind of see as a little iffy, a little different territory.
But this movie, explain to me how it makes sense to have the main character, Ariel, who is redhead in the movie, and King Trident, who looks Caucasian with white hair, be portrayed with I don't know who the actress is who portrays Ariel, but she definitely does not have red hair, and she's definitely a little bit, she doesn't look like Ariel in the movie. I'll just say that. And Javier Bardem, who is every bit of, I think, is he South American? I don't even know where he's at. I need to pull it up. But he looks nothing like Trident, and his hair's gray, not white. I believe Trident's hair was white. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Is it white? Oh, I guess it is white. It looks.
Yeah,
gray.
I remember right seeing it looked white. Yeah.
It looked grayish white.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know. No, it's white in the movie or in the Disney show. I don't know. Who plays Prince Eric? Let's see this. Joshua Howard King. Howard King? Her? What's his name? Don't know. Hoo-ha King. I literally lost my mind, and I texted my brother when I originally saw the preview. I was like, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark is playing King Trident. And he's like, no, he's not. No, he doesn't. I was like, yes, he does. Look at this photo. It's like, no, it's the dude from Skyfall. I was like, absolutely not. It is Tony Stark is playing this role. And he's like, he basically told me to text his wife and ask her. But then I looked it up. I was like, son of a gun. It isn't Robert Downey Jr. Well, good on you, Robert Downey, for not playing the role of King Triton.
Indeed.
I feel like in the Twilight Zone. Like the more these movies come out, the more I'm like, where have we gone wrong?
Well, it certainly shows a lack of creativity that they can't create anything new anymore. So they're just like rehashing previous properties of their own into live action instead of just letting them stay as, known as the animated versions.
I don't know. They have
there are still just some things that cannot be translated well from animation to live action.
I will say this on a positive note, Fracture, you can get an adult-sized King Triton onesie costume.
Oh, lovely.
So stupid.
I agree. Spartacus says, in the live action movie, you have a Latino merman having a group of Black, white, Asian, and Arab daughters. He's been getting around with many mermaids. He's been doing the Zeus thing. It sounds like that.
Who are these people? Who's Halle Bailey? Who's David Diggs, who plays Sebastian? Like Jacob Tremblay plays Flounder. Melissa McCarthy, of course, she would play Ursula. Jonah Howard King, and then some person named Aquafina.
Aquafina, yeah.
What in the world? What kind of name is Aquafina?
I think it's a stage name, but I'm not sure.
That's not a real name. I'd be livid if my parents named me that. Or I'd rather be called Matt.
According to IMDb, her actual name is Nora Lum.
Why not go with Nora? Why Aquafina? That's not even how you spell
Aquafina. She attempted to be a rapper.
That's not
I
even
believe
how you
Aquafina.
Aquafina.
Dude, I don't know.
Awkward Fina. Aqua.
Here we go. Static's got it. She really likes water.
Pump Static. Like, I'm gonna be like I will absolutely unequivocally not watch this unless my nieces want to watch it.
Yeah, like
that would be
it's her hip hop name. So that it's like I said, it's her stage name for doing rap hip hop.
Listen here, Scuttle. You need to come up with a better name than Aquafina because that is absolutely just atrocious.
Yeah, Chris, I've seen the clip and Lord, it's horrendous.
Clip of what? The movie?
It's a clip of the movie where she does quote unquote rap or sing.
Please don't play
worry,
it.
I won't hurt your ears with that.
I literally shoved my head down my ear.
Yeah, Aquafina was in the Shang-Chi movie.
Was that a Marvel movie?
Was that Marvel's Katie? I forgot what her character was. Her calling her character, but yeah. Dumpster fire, dude. Dumpster fire.
Oh, I can't even.
It's a hell of a thing nowadays, ain't it? It's a hell of a thing. Here's another one. Different topic. Back to Star Wars a bit. Okay, yeah. It was Marvel's Katie. It's kind of a meme going around for a while there.
Katie Sackhoff? What?
No. It was Aquafina's character in the Shang-Chi movie was named Katie. And it was funny because the toy was just Marvel's Katie for the Legend series or whatever. All right. So, Ahsoka's Ivana Sakno, I don't know, hopes her portrayal of new Star Wars villain will allow the audience to, quote, expand our understanding of that darkness within someone and the reason behind it. Just from that headline alone, do you really believe that these people have that capability?
No.
Exactly. I was just going to take your silence as an affirmation that, that no, they were not capable.
Absolutely not.
So actress Ivana Sakno, I don't know, who plays Shin Hati in the upcoming Ahsoka series, recently provided some new details about the character as well as what she hopes to portray to viewers. During an appearance on Entertainment Weekly's Dagobah Dispatch, man, these people are getting around. Sakno discussed her character, saying Shin is quite intense and ambitious force wielder. She is very skilled in lightsaber combat. You know, as you are saying, she is a new character, so I don't want to give away too much of who Shin is, as I love the audience to be able to discover her, but she is Dave's creation, and I hope that despite her darkness of a character, we are able to expand our understanding of that darkness within someone and the reason behind it, she added. Sakno concluded, I love her. I really care so much about her, and I feel like it's my job to take care and protect her. Sakno wasn't the only one to share details, but the recently passed Ray Stevenson also provided details on his character, Balin's skull. Oh, as well as Shin Hati. So he provides some information on both of them. He said it's such an untold journey with Balin and Shin, and they kind of keep you second guessing. Are they? Aren't they? What is going on? What are they actually up to? Though they first appear as then it develops into could be this or what is it? Good Lord. And then there is something out there, something other. So it's a very exciting role to play. And he has a kind of, I would say, inherent nobility. It's like if you don't stand in his way, he's got no malicious attitude at all. But if you just be swept aside because there's something that's driving him that Mr. Filoni and Favreau know and is hopefully going to be revealed through the telling. Just breathtaking, he added. So we learn really nothing.
Nothing.
Now that's just going into more talking about Thrawn and the big bad and stuff like that. But you know what? I know it's a vague description, which probably could be attributed to so many characters. But between this girl's look and a little bit of what I'd seen, and I said this on Wookiee's podcast when I was there with him, Static, and Joker. I said, what if this is basically our Darth Bane and Darth Zana? Or what if she's basically...
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Joker said the same. Because
Shut your mouth.
Ambitious force wielder, very skilled in lightsaber combat. Like I said, that could be attributed to so many. But when it comes to dark side users, I can't help but go to Zana. I'm
Why do you
sorry.
have to go there? Why do you have to go there? Why? Why? Well,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Good. You decided,
but Filoni's the eternal, forever trash panda that we were just saying is continually stealing and leeching from the EU to make everything his own. Wouldn't surprise me if that's what he's doing. I had the sinking suspicion when I was watching the trailer with them. It popped into my brain. I was looking at her and I'm like, no. No. Okay, Chris, Jor Sabaoth and gender swap Luke Skywalker, maybe. Jor Sabaoth, I see for yes, for what was his name? Ray Stevenson's character. I see that for him. The girl though, I can't help but think that it's kind of going towards the Zana territory.
One thing to say to you right now, just one thing.
You got it muted.
Why, Ron? Ron, why did you say that? Why? Why, Ron? What? You're my hero, Ron.
Garth,
You come out with stink like that. Poop. Poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
Garth, if I were to give you some money out of my wallet, would that ease the pain?
I hate you, Ron Burgundy. I hate you.
Literally you. Right now. Come out with stink
I'm
like that.
sorry.
Poop mouth. Poop out your mouth.
Brandon is saying Shin Hati is a half Night Sister with part Mara Jade, according to the leaks. I don't trust leaks. I don't trust them until we get some definitive evidence.
Inaccurate, though.
Sometimes, yes, I'm not denying that, but otherwise, until I see it, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I think I'm being fair there.
Surprisingly, sometimes they
No, I know that they have been. I'm just saying, anything is possible, right? These people love steal. Okay, so then she's ends up being Mara Jade ripoff. All right, well, I guess I was wrong there. I'm willing to be wrong. And like I said, it's going from the mere smallest little details. I know, but we're already getting Filoni nabbing and trying to poorly make his new own version of the Thrawn trilogy. We've already seen them, Andor is basically the ripoff of Kyle Katarn. He's got the jacket, he's got the Briar pistol, he just doesn't have the character. he cooked for the Imperials. But maybe, and it could just be because I recently went back through the Darth Bane trilogy. That maybe it's a little sensitive for me. It just the look and everything kind of gives me Xana vibes.
Do I need to play this again?
No, don't. It's okay. I'll stop.
No, I just you're probably here's the thing, folks. I now feel what Fractured feels when I talk about how Kyle is literally Andor, or Andor is literally like. Why'd you have to say it? Like, I get it, and you're probably right. Now that
because I've said it once already, and I thought I would say it to you.
You said it to Wookiee. What was Wookiee's reaction?
I forget exactly.
Can't say what he said. What if you're right? Oh, what if you're right? What if you're right?
I don't want to be, but
what if you're right?
It's kind of what it is. A little bit of a vibe I was getting.
But that would okay. Let's just go here for a minute.
Static. He said, "I remember Joker telling him to stop." Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's just say you're
Joker wasn't too happy about me saying that either.
Let's just say you're right. That would mean that these people would have to know who Darth Zana is, which would further lead you to believe that they have read the books.
Right.
Which would literally lead you to believe that they're literally just out there just to crap on, like, literally, it's like they're playing this game of like, we're going to literally just eviscerate the EU. We're aware of the EU. We've read the EU, and this is what we're going to do with it.
Yeah.
And to take a character like this character and say this is Zana is the highest disrespect. It is a travesty of the highest order, and it shall not proceed. It shan't be a thing.
Yep.
You're gonna be right, and I'm literally.
I hope, like I said, I hope I'm not.
No, it makes sense. It literally makes sense. And here I am saying the exact same thing that you said to me. When
you're gonna need to give him some money out of your wallet, and then Crimson Raptor, you're gonna need to give all of us some money out of your wallet. See what you started here.
How could it not?
I'm surprised Shin is not the daughter of Cal and Marin, according to some fan theories.
Oof.
Oh boy.
That can't be a thing because
her master will be holding her back, so in the end she'll kill him and become so much better. That wouldn't surprise me either. Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, well, that can't be a thing because according to Sam Mag's book, Marin is not of.
That's right. She's
play for that team.
Alphabet community person. That's right. Spartacus saying Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors are what Andor and Jyn Erso became after you throw them into a blender and then pour them out into molds and let sit to dry. Yeah, exactly. I'm not giving you nothing, Wookie.
Wookie wants your money. I like to see what I want to know what Spartacus and Jace, what their thoughts are on your theory that you just came up with. We agreed that we weren't going to build this channel on theories like somebody.
I'm just merely responding to the article. That's all I was doing.
I know. I bet you Star Wars theory has his own theory about. I don't even know if he would.
I'm sure he does.
No, I want to know Spartacus's thoughts and Jason's thoughts. I already know Wookiee.
Marin is pansexual. She's attracted to anything, even toaster ovens. Oh God! She's gonna be the lady from Knights of the Old Republic that you find that was going after her own droid.
Your favorite? Your favorite character?
What?
That's your favorite character in the game. She's like the droid of her dead husband, and she thought
she was mounting her droid, and the droid wanted.
The droid's like,
please kill me. Cal and Marin actually became a couple in Jedi Survivor, retconning Sam Max's novel. So they're consistent with their inconsistencies, even with their games and books.
Sam
All
Mags
right.
isn't going to consider. Sam Mags is not going to consider Survivor
the game canon. Yeah,
mine is the canon.
Yep, hers is the true canon. Get wrecked, nerds.
I got an argument at work. It was funny because I told him, he's like, "Are you playing Jedi Survivor?" I was like, "Absolutely not. It's dog water. It's trash." And he's like, "Well,
you haven't played it."
I was like, "Well, that's." He's like, "I actually enjoyed it." He's like, "Well, that's not right, or that's not fair. I actually enjoyed the game." I was like, "Well, I would question your Star Wars knowledge."
I saw Spartacus playing it. I saw Raging Rhino playing it. The gameplay looks.
I have a bone to pick with Raging because he's the one guy's like, always like, I'm not giving my money to the SEALs and always talking all this, and he's over there playing this game. Like,
I know he's caught so much shit for that too, but he's owned it. He's been great about it.
Rhino, we love you like a brother, but I've got a bone to pick with you. Don't know how you do it.
I even went into some of his Twitch streams. It was kind of like, here's
has he talked about it on the full
Disney shill.
Huh? I wonder if he's talked. Doesn't he have his full Aussie?
No, he's talked about it on Casual Rage.
Just Casual Rage. Oh, Raging, I have words. I'm going to send him a DM on Twitter. I'm going to re-download my Twitter on my phone just to send him a message.
So, Spartacus, you listened to the novel, and he says Marin was pan and did hook up with a female alien, but in the end, she has some feelings for Cal, and Cal her. So, it did still fall in line. Questionable, though.
Highly sus.
Cal got cooked.
I don't know. I won't be playing it. And again, it's $79. $79 for this game. Unless you somehow, I don't know how you'd find
it. Is it $80? Isn't that like the
special edition? I saw last night it was $79.
I thought it's the $70. Yeah.
No, $79.99. Maybe that's your DLC. I don't know. Yeah, people are saying it's actually good. People are saying it's actually good. I'm like, I'm not gonna play it, but I question it.
I keep waiting for it to hit the high seas, and then I'll maybe.
It will. It's not gonna go.
I'm not gonna give it my money.
No, it's not gonna go down. And people say, well, he's like, I've heard people say, well, absolutely, it will go down because Fallen Order went on sale after 4 months or 3 months of being on the market. I was like, well, I don't remember, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll wait for it.
If it does, on principle, I don't think I could play it.
No, and so it says Spartacus novel means nothing in the end besides telling you how Grease lost one of his hands. Okay,
is Grease the guy the pilot, the little guy?
I think so. But anyways, Brandon Tran saying Jedi Survivor still has bugs on all consoles compared to new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's already said
we need to review, by the way.
The Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it.
So have I. But no, EA themselves said they would be taking weeks to prepare or repair or put out patches and whatnot. They themselves said they would be working on it.
Then why release it when they released it?
Because they're stupid. Because they're EA. Because I don't know. It'll end up on Game Passes, Crimson Raptor, and cursing. I haven't had issues with bugs really. But here is the thing. From system to system to system, you can have different variables that'll happen. So that's why a lot of times within like game testing and stuff like that, you'd have to like submit your bug report and even confirm with your other team members who has had to repeat this bug. Because while you could have like, yes, the same systems, maybe there's something in the background that's also causing certain effects, something that goes wrong with maybe your particular build of the game. There can be varying things. While yes, oh hey, it works for me, but for a great majority of people, has not been working for them. And like I said already, EA had put out that statement that, gosh, we're so sorry, but we will be working on the game and putting out weeks worth of patches that they themselves said. So, that's the unfortunate thing with that. It could have been better if they just maybe ironed out a few things before actually releasing it. But sadly, the thing is too, people bought it, ate it up, and everything. So, yeah. Yep. Well, here's maybe some positive news. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
If that.
Just really quick, the only good parts of Jedi Survivor is you can fully explore are the two planets Jeda and Kobo. Everything other planet is a small dungeon. Ha! I still find it bizarre that you could go on the Coruscant and not be detected by Sidious or Darth Vader, like at all. I don't care if it's Night Sister magic. That alone should be like a beacon of, oh wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Because last I remember, even like Palpatine was the one that wiped out the Night Sisters in their universe. So anyway, here's this I thought was kind of funny. Stargate SG-1 star Corin Nemec decries credibility of mainstream news, questions recent media narratives. I always liked his character. He only got one season, but I liked his character. Hollywood actor Corin Nemec, best known for his roles as Jonas Quinn in Stargate SG-1 and titular character in Parker Lewis Can't Lose, has made it clear that he's done listening to mainstream media, recently taking to social media to question some of the information they've been feeding to the public in the past few years. Recapitulating some of the events that have transpired over the last few years, Nemec tweeted on May 20th, you can also see it right here, but Wu Flu is man-made, laptop is real, Russian collusion is not real, intelligence community is corrupt. Border is wide open. Globalist agenda for world domination is open source news. Federal Reserve Bank is broke. Epstein didn't kill himself. Cheekily inquiring, what am I forgetting? And has the Wicked Witch. First on the actors list is the okay, so now this is going to be kind of going into all of that. I find it very funny that suddenly, this is a funny thing. Like, there have been, yes, some actors that have, I can only assume, as getting ahead of the tide a bit, as some things are starting to kind of turn away from this heavy media narrative of the left and everything.
Yeah.
I would like to think that he's being sincere, and yes, he is waking up and seeing the shit going on. I mean, hell, that's a hell of a thing to put out there. That's for damn sure. He's certainly dropping his red pill, but I'm always very skeptical, especially of actors and shit like that. Like, like I said, I liked his character, and I liked Jonas Quinn in Stargate SG-1. I thought it was a bum rap that he's only on for one season, because everybody was talking. What I ended up reading up was the fan base was really vocal about it, because he was replacing another one long-standing character, Daniel Jackson. So he kind of caught some shit for that. But I always liked it. Anyway. But yeah, I just find this a little funny, and just as things are getting close to election time, that this is also popping off too.
What? Do you think it has anything to do with election?
I don't know. It could. It couldn't. I mean, but it's a funny way to swing in the opposite direction of the usual base for the Hollywood types.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because I want to, because they're gonna go into all this sort of news. I'm trying to see if there's more from Nemec here. So Nemec's list of news dismissed by the media was not ignored by users on Twitter who dropped by and left their own comments, some agreeing with him and others disagreeing on the actor's opinion. But our elections are completely incorruptible and reflections of the will of the voters. That's right. Wink, wink. Ironically noted, a Twitter user, I'll just keep David Roberts. Addressing Nemec's closing inquiry, Twitter user Joel Williamson TX pointed out, you're forgetting that no one will be held accountable for any of it, prompting the actor to reply, and that. So even somebody did say, dude, as a huge fan of SG-1, all of you guys, I'm so glad you are not in denial of this stuff. I sincerely hope you're well. The only two entities not involved in the Russia hoax were Trump and Russia, declared Lone Wolf Dusk. But yeah, so even he all goes back to the same thing. UN Agenda 2030. Biggest mistake conspiracy folks made was not legitimizing it with the UN, part of the title the last 5 years. They have, but, and then Core Nemec replied, they have, but a few take the time to actually look into, and it is so vast and diabolical in scope, it takes a sound mind to accept it is real. Damn. And then, of course, somebody saying that you have no credibility. Neither does the mainstream news. Shots fired. So yeah, I find that little bit interesting. Again, like I said, there's been some actors and stuff here and there within Hollywood that are making their way, kind of like I said, maybe getting ahead of the curve, maybe at being legitimate, and yeah, they're tired of the shit. And kind of flipping sides a little bit. What's your take
about Hollywood?
Well, I mean, just with this in general and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. it's very ironic that this stuff's happening and the elections are, God, is it almost election time? Has it been 4 years already since
it's getting there finally? Thank
since
God.
The old Coddard's been in there.
Yep.
I don't know. I will agree with you. It's very. I don't believe in coincidences. I think it's very ironic. But again, Hollywood's its own entity,
right?
In itself, and you go against Hollywood, you'll never act again in your life, or
right,
unless you go to a different,
Yeah, if you go independent or anything like that,
for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Example like Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, he's still been very active
and everything. He's conservative Christian and went against Hollywood and has not done a Hollywood movie. I don't know if he's technically ever, I guess, per se in Hollywood. It's TV technically part of Hollywood.
It depends on what part of it is being worked with, but I guess technically, yes.
Like, would Hercules be considered Hollywood?
That was possibly a Hollywood production sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was Sam Raimi that was like producer or creator of that show.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, my goodness, anybody who speaks out against Epstein end up dead in jail or gone. Like, you go against the Clintons, you're done.
I was gonna say
you mentioned the fact that Clintons are murderers, you end up dead.
They are lovely people and they are fantastic.
Yeah. Not my word. I'm just saying there's a video out there about like somebody accused the Clintons of murdering on I don't know, whatever. And so.
But yeah, I just like I said, I thought it was it's been rather interesting. We're seeing a lot of funny things happen,
It tends to be Hollywood whoever the powers that be want to be, which is so stupid to say. It's like whoever the powers that be want to be in power. It's like you guys are in control and you pick whoever you want to. I mean, the election. Let's be honest. Like election is it's not a thing anymore. They choose whoever they want to choose. I personally believe the elections are like they're just rigged. There's no, and Biden winning was the nail in the coffin.
Right.
But it's very interesting. I think Hollywood will tend to align themselves with whoever they think would be best.
Yeah, and there's been some theories going around too that even my brother was telling me about how even right now the military has stepped away, so to speak, from the this month and the whole Pride events, because they are potentially gearing up for war and they want more of a certain demographic to make sure to reel in to fight in that war, because not a lot of those the snippers of the crotch are going to be very effective in combat. The body mutilators are not going to be very effective. They need certain people.
Where are my Bane people at? Where are the Zanas? Hell, I even take the Mauls, even though you got beat by Obi-Wan, but that's fine.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan had the low ground. Maul had the high ground. What the hell, man? But yeah.
Did I ever tell you, this was years ago, did I ever tell you how mind-blown I was when I remember in Return of the Jedi, Vader says, Obi-Wan has taught you well, and Luke's up top. And I never, like, it was, well, I put the two together where Obi-Wan said, it's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Right.
And I remember it was years after I saw Revenge of the Sith. I never put that I was like a dumb bird. I never put that
that's
together.
Funny.
Until I was watching Return of the Jedi, even though it's not my favorite. Empire's my favorite, but I watched. I was like, it was like, that take the Twilight Zone music with that GIF where the calculus is going across her face, the screen. It's like,
yeah, just like that.
It's like, I'd be damned. He's talking about Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So I'm sure anybody who originally watched, Return of the Jedi and then for the first time watched Revenge of the Sith probably put that together. But I was like, howdy, Monkey's uncle. That boy's calling. He's calling Obi-Wan out. Yep. Even in death, Obi-Wan's screwing with him. He's like, I can't escape him. He's taking everything from me.
Too funny. Funny.
Yeah.
And
then also the fact that I'm pretty sure that Princess Leia was feeding the Ewoks rice cakes. I don't know if you ever caught that either. Pretty sure she just pulled out a rice cake and gave it to this thing.
I'm sorry. Oh no, I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I was like, and then Luke and Empire, pretty much eating a taquito from the gas station. Yoda's opening the box,
like a little granola bar sort of thing.
Yeah, it's probably more like a granola bar than a taquito. But I originally thought, I was like, it was like a crossbreed between a granola bar and taquito. I was like,
yeah,
he went to a gas station, and then him eating the soup is like, that looks like refried beans.
Oh god,
what would Saturday Night Sith be without a little bit of shenanigans?
Exactly.
This is where my mind goes. Like, there's
we gotta have the shenanigans. It's all part of it, man.
Did you ever think of that when he's like eating the soup? He's like, good food. I'm sure it is good. Or what? I forget what he exactly said. But then he tastes it and he puts it down. You don't think it was refried beans? Did you not think of it?
Oh,
am I the only one who thinks about food when I'm watching movies?
Either I think when it looked like such a kind of goop, so I think I would have thought it was like a split pea soup or something like that.
Yeah, mustard,
kind of goopy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and then the yellow snake.
Yep.
I'm so pissed, dude, because you know what, R2 could have gone inside. By the way, just so you're aware.
They did keep the droid out in the rain. This is true.
Yeah,
poor R2. Spartacus was saying MAGA base and to Nemec there. Wookiee said they already knew, just flipping before the tide. Right. That's what we're saying. Spartacus, some Hollywood types are flipping out that the DNC will not be holding debates, basically signaling they already sided with Biden. Ooh, spicy. Oh, by the way, did you see that Iran was voted to be the UN General Assembly Vice President? Iran, kill anyone that isn't praising Muhammad, Iran. Well, you know what? I've been of the mind that, yes, we should have fucked off from the UN a long time ago. Crimson Raptor, I want to believe that they're realizing there's more of us than them, but who knows? The left-wing agenda is a minority way of thinking, but they've been given a megaphone to virtue signal for years. They have, and they have gotten plenty of their own converts, so it's a tough thing. Chris saying, I'm actually giving thought to Clinton having Kennedy Jr. die in that plane crash so she can become senator from New York. Ooh. We do not believe this. This is just a mere conspiracy theory. We do not take him seriously. The Clintons are great. Crimson Raptor saying Super Mario Brothers movie was successful because it has non-woke, not anti-woke.
I watched that movie and I don't know how I felt about it.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was the kind of weird whole Bowser wanting to get all up in Princess Peach. That was a little weird.
Oh no, what I'm talking about is like first of all, I was like, Chris Pratt, he's not Italian. He has no ability to have an Italian accent. So the first part of the movie,
I thought he actually did a really good job.
How dare you? He did not have an Italian accent at all.
I thought he did good.
What do you mean he did good?
I thought he actually did a good job. Kind of putting on the I thought he did a good job with the voice. It wasn't too over the top. It was just subtle enough. It was good. It was
Frankie did a better job.
I did not hear his voice. There was a little bit in there, but for the most part, I felt like he portrayed Mario well. So, I personally thought Pratt did a good job. I don't know who played Luigi, but I thought he did pretty good.
His brother, Chris Pratt's brother.
No, I don't think is it Chris Pratt's brother?
I don't know. Probably.
Oh, you dingbat.
It was his brother. He plays Mario.
But the gal that played Princess Peach, the only two I could not stand was Jack Black and Seth Rogen. I could not stand
because
them.
Jack Black and Lizzo.
She had nothing to do with this.
She wasn't in the movie?
No.
I thought she was.
She wasn't.
I saw she played Lumiere.
That was Mandalorian season 3.
Oh.
But yeah. I thought it wasn't bad. It played itself very safe. I did think they botched things a bit with Luigi. He kind of got the shaft on that whole thing, but otherwise, I thought it was good. It was a good kind of beginning entry for what I'm sure will be their own Nintendo cinematic universe.
I'm dumb question. Did Nintendo produce this movie?
They did have a degree of creative control, which apparently they did exert on them because there was potentially some funny business that was going to be done with this movie, but Nintendo stepped in, put their foot down, and made sure that things were portrayed.
That's why it's still $29 to buy, and every other movie when it goes to digital download is everywhere between $19 or whatnot. So I'm like, it's $24.99 to rent this movie, $29.99 to watch it, but you go to the movies and it's $12.50 to watch. So they're definitely making a killing off this.
So yeah, I personally
did you hear the news that apparently they're going to do multiple movies with this?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, okay. I heard that and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Because of its massive success, it was going to be getting either sequels and then also they will probably do something next like Legend of Zelda.
Probably.
So they'll be building on this. Some people are speculating they're going to be working towards like a Smash Brothers movie where they do the whole basically big Avengers event sort of thing. We'll see, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they would have like a sequel to this Mario Brothers movie and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Spartacus, because you need balls to fight wars, you need aggression and brute strength. That's why R2 held the plan so long. He was still salty.
Probably.
Well, after getting covered in swamp scum and mud, so R2 needed to get a shower. I guess that's true. Static saying, wouldn't anti-woke literally be Yahtzees and KKK type stuff? I don't know. I have no clue. You and I was talking about that with you and Wookie already. Static. The whole woke thing is the term alone has gotten so overused. I don't even know what the hell it means anymore. Okay, let's do another. I thought this was funny. There we go. So apparently, developers abandon Coder 2 restoration DLC on the Nintendo Switch. Apologize with free games. So yeah, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 Switch port won't get its promised final cut of the incomplete classic. So apparently Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on the Switch was a mess from the start. Like the original game's buggy and incomplete release back in 2004, last year's port to Nintendo's handheld hybrid launched with a bug that made the game impossible to beat for some players. Subsequent patches added other issues, and now players will no longer be getting the free restoration content DLC they were previously promised. Oof. The studio behind the port, Aspire, delivered the bad news late Friday night, telling Switch owners of the game that the update to add support for a series of fan-made mods that fix certain bugs and round out Coder 2's characters and rough ending had unfortunately been canceled. It's basically the unofficial final cut of Obsidian Entertainment's excellent RPG, and Switch players will now essentially miss out on it, despite the fact it was previously marketed alongside the port's 2022 release. Oof.
Boy's a deer.
Yeah. What? Okay, I'll get to this. I'll get to that in a moment. So here's their big apology letter. Sadly, today we are announcing that the restoration content DLC for the Nintendo Switch version of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 Sith Lords will not be moving forward for release. The studio tweeted on June 2nd. We'd like to thank everyone for their continued support by providing a complimentary video game key to players that purchased Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Nintendo Switch before this announcement. Whew. The games impacted players can choose from include the following list of other Star Wars ports Aspire worked on. Why would you listen? Oh, for PC. Knights of the Old Republic on the Switch, Force Unleashed, Republic Commando, Episode 1 Racer, Jedi Knight Academy, Jedi Outcast. The first game on the PC version of Coder, which does include the restoration content DLC, though if you only own a Switch, that's not going to help you much. And as some players have pointed out, it's not clear how the studio will make it up to those who might already own all of these games already. Which, when it comes to Star Wars fans, isn't an entirely unlikely scenario. Things just aren't going Aspire's way at the moment, it seems. The Austin-based studio behind a bunch of otherwise decent Star Wars ports and remasters was purchased by Embracer for $450 million in 2021. That same year, it announced a remake of Knights of the Old Republic at a PS5 showcase that immediately generated tons of excitement. A year later, Bloomberg reported that project was already running into trouble, which we covered on this show, and would be moved to a completely new studio under Embracer's umbrella. Oof. So right now, as of late, a lot of game companies have been doing this bullshit of but basically putting out these apology letter statements. Basically, I'm sorry. Can you guys just not fuck up? Can you actually just work? Yeah, in the first place, can you please just actually properly work on the goddamn games for a good release? Actually live up to your promises. I mean, you are being about as, faithful to your word as fucking politicians. This is what has certainly gotten me just like on the whole thing of I barely will buy a new game anymore. I wait and wait until it basically hits the price of a sandwich or I hit the high freaking seas. Because it's stuff like this that I'm freaking tired of coming from, a lot of these game companies. I don't care if it's maybe a smaller group. You are putting your word that you are just remastering and re-releasing a game just on a different system. You have everything in the works. Just do the testing that needs to be done so you can actually port it properly. That's not asking for a whole lot. And then they'll also include that DLC that you promised would be there. You should have done the testing that would make sure it would be all included on the get-go. Because yes, we already have this on PC. We've had this for a long freaking time already because of the passionate modding base that had restored a lot of that content, that made it available for us to be able to play that stuff again.
I just wonder if they get paid, if these people, developers, get paid to, or fine, if they say like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. They say, oh, we're going to release this game at this date, right? If they are getting paid from their sponsors, or I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is that you release these games early, or you have such a, I don't even know, passion or whatnot. You want to release these games before they're even properly, with all these bugs and everything. It's like, why don't you just take the time? I remember like Gears of War, right? I remember when they said the game was coming out, and I remember waiting, and it felt like years. It felt like years before the game came out. But again, that game came out, and again, maybe I'm biased, but not a single issue with the game. Like, and so I don't know if it was like games back when you and I grew up were just, I mean, I know they were well done and they were well built and it was quality over quantity. But today it's like, we're just going to throw crap. It's like Disney. We're going to throw crap on the wall and see what sticks. Like Survivor series or the Jedi Survivor. It's like they rushed this game
Yep.
And it has all these bugs in it. And I don't know if bugs are just more prevalent now than they like back then or what it is. But to your point, it's like every time they release a game, it is accompanied with an apology letter.
As of late, yes, we've had okay, so now we've had Jedi Survivor, we've had Cyberpunk, oh god, there was another one recently, oh god,
all of them. Harry Potter.
No, Harry Potter. Well, I think. Oh wait, was there an apology one for them too? I'm trying to remember so many of these companies have had them, and I'm trying to remember each and every one because I also think I saved one thanks to Lethal Lightning. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Because this has become such a trend. Let's see, where is it? Hopefully, I can find it really quick. Because I'm trying to remember. There's been some other games that have been bringing out these apology letters. Yeah, we had for Survivor, they had theirs for the whole weekly, needing weeks of fixing and stuff like that. Oh God, I wish yeah, so even just really quick. Here is, so nobody thinks that I'm lying or anything. Here is theirs for this one, for Jedi Survivor. Because I know it was more than just the PC version. There was even on the consoles, it was having their problems. Sorry about this. I wish I had this brought up already. But have you got anything to while I'm trying to look for this?
I just back to the whole thing is just I don't understand why there's such a almost a culture of just pumping out these games without them being fully done. It's like, so an example, well, and this is probably a little bit different, but like, so Black Ops, for those of you that are Black Ops fans, like Black Ops 2, I believe it was it Black Ops 2? The latest Black Ops game, Call of Duty game during COVID, like, they all, and again, that's probably not an example because they basically created the game. They all worked at home, so they weren't at the actual studio, but they, instead of like postponing it, which I get would have probably irritated people, but they worked from home. And from my research, if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. But from my research and from what I was told, the people developed the games the best they could from their home, and then they released it. And there was a lot of bugs in this game and the game campaign, and just wasn't that great. Apparently, so whether it be from doing that at home or not, I don't know. But
so another game which came out recently, which is completely an atrocious freaking game. I was watching Heel versus Babyface trying to play this one, but yeah, the devs for the Gollum game put out a statement of apology for the atrocious, badly buggy freaking game that was. Which did just look horrendous. You had massive clipping issues, AI issues of the NPCs, like walking through environments that they shouldn't be walking through. Gollum himself basically like passing through physical environments that he shouldn't be. magical, floating in different weird areas. It's a Jesus. For being backed by a company like WB, you'd think they would put out some better shit than what they've been putting out.
Yeah.
It's just that game should almost be sending people to jail for fraud or something. That was literally like, and it's like, me and a coworker were talking about this. It's practically like PlayStation 2 era graphics that this game does look like. It looks bad. Like I would have understood if it had like a stylized look, a certain art direction for it, but it's not even that. It is just straight up wonky as hell. But yeah, this whole trend of putting out these stupid apologies, and it is kind of like what where was it? Yeah, what Sparta games were sold completed. There was no internet to fix things, and that is the big issue right there. Is while it's a benefit to have internet connectivity, it's become such a crutch that they've relied on it so much that day one patches and stuff like that are now practically standard, and people just accept it as the norm instead of being like, hey, maybe you should actually finish the game proper and then have to wait a little bit before you had to start actually releasing bug fixes and stuff like that. Just maybe. Oh, okay. Here I found what I was looking for. So yeah, because Redfall, as Lethal said, Redfall looks cringe, but maybe LOL, and Starfield is a Bethesda game. We have a real shot at a clean sweep here, and basically the PC gaming list of full price beta testing. That's basically what it is. You're beta testing these fucking games. Forspoken, broken at launch. Wild Hearts, broken at launch. Hogwarts Legacy, broken at launch. Depending on your point of view on that one. Wo Long, I don't know what game that is. Broken at launch. Last of Us Part 1, which is like the remastered edition, broken at launch. Jedi Survivor, broken at launch. Redfall is broken at launch. Starfield is the one that we'll see if it will be broken at launch. It's a Bethesda game, so yes, like Lethal said, we got a good chance at a clean sweep here of a bunch of games broken at launch, and this is coming from AAA developers and stuff like that. Basically, this should not be such a standard norm. It should not be. You have the money, you have the time to be able to put the effort into these games. This should not be a thing whatsoever. I understand that there are going to be bugs that'll creep through, that'll get past people and stuff like that, because you also can't always account for the weird shit a gamer's going to do. You just can't. It's going to be a tough thing to do. But for the most part, you can make your world and everything in the game itself feel as solid and, precise as possible. And maybe find some weird little glitches and stuff like that here and there. That's, like I said, that'll happen. But you should have your game stable, functional, and out the door without too many bugs and problems. And with the backing that a lot of these places have, this should not be the issue. And again, like it is, I think, they used to take time on games and stuff like that, but not anymore. It's just called, let's crap it out as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Are you taking a picture or something?
Oh, screenshot. But no, yes. I agree with everything you're saying. 100%. I don't get it. I've asked. I don't know. But
the Golem game was like it should have come out 20 years ago. But that's why I said like it looked like a PS2 game. Too many SJWs taking selfies at these companies. Yeah, that sounds about right. Crimson Raptor, I had to rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy to calm myself down. Extended editions, of course. Well, naturally, you go the extended edition route. Now I got my blood pumping a bit.
Yeah.
Get me on some gaming news, and that'll always piss me off a little bit. Because I mean, the funny thing is, like, I can't right now. I have been playing the System Shock remake, and that is very good. I have been enjoying the shit out of it. I backed that project a long time ago when their Kickstarter first came about from Night Dive Studios. I backed it a long time ago. I did some live stream. I did a couple of live streams playing the game. In the first one, I did go over my little story about the project. You could go check it out on Rumble after this. Please do. But no, but for the System Shock remake, it's been very solid. I mean, it certainly should be. They've had plenty of the time to work on it, about 5 to 6 or 7 years, give or take. But I can say that, you know, for a newer game, I'm definitely enjoying the shit out of it. I like it a lot. I feel like they've stayed very faithful to the original game. I do kind of wish the original music would be popping in a little more than currently, but they definitely nailed the atmosphere of having it more survival or more horror-esque. I guess survival horror, I guess you could say, but more akin to the second game in that fashion. The gameplay is fantastic. It's still that it still feels like the old game, but not clunky. If you've played Night Dive Studios re-release of System Shock, their enhanced edition, not so much like that because it's completely different like visual styles too, but it plays similar, so you at least still feel that classic feel of the game, but more modern for the inventory setup and having little vendor machines and everything for extra items that you can purchase. So I mean, if there's one game out there for sure, if you're looking for a good first-person shooter that's got a bit of a horror element to it, go grab that one. It's $39 for a re-release, remaster, whatever you want to call it, game. Unlike freaking Resident Evil 4 remake, which changed up the game drastically from what I understood for a lot of the content. Freaking Resident Evil 2 changed up its story greatly. The Final Fantasy remake changed itself greatly. I'm sorry, but I'd rather just have some of the old games remastered or just kind of redone for a slightly new look. Don't change the story. Keep the stories the same. This is why I was glad when I heard the freaking coder, the Knights of the Old Republic 1 remake was dead in the water. Because especially then it was talked about rewriting the story, changing the characters, and all this sort of shit. No, just give us a like updated game, but just in the terms of game, maybe some gameplay, because some games can still, old games can be a little clunky, and just some updated visuals. That's all I needed. And that's basically what I've gotten from the System Shock remake.
I just miss good games being developed, man.
That too. Fuck.
I'm just being genuine. Like, I've not played Diablo 4.
I agree with you.
Are we playing Diablo 4?
No.
Diablo 5?
I'm
4?
playing. Oh, Diablo 3?
No, the new one that just came out.
No. Well, I'm not. You can if you want to get it by all means. I'm not, though. I don't have any plans to. I don't want to give Blizzard my money.
I don't know.
But
I thought about it. But
I did too. I did too, because I know you were talking about it. I was like,
like I want, like, you're a Diablo 2 guy. I'm Diablo 3 guy. We need to meet in the middle. Maybe 4 will be the one that bridges that. I don't know, but I agree, because I was super frustrated with Blizzard with the mobile game, and I know Blizzard did it.
What? Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah. But then there was the guy, I don't know if you heard, so there was a guy who he dropped like thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
I think we talked about it here too.
Into that, and then like the system crash, or he didn't get what he was promised, or something like that. He was
Following them by spending a shit ton of money in their game.
Right. But I don't know. I mean, that would be the only game outside. Nope, that'd be the only game that's come out that I would.
That you're interested in right
that
now?
would be that I would actually like stream.
Right.
Because like I said, I won't do Survivor. I'm not talking crap on Rhino. But I'm not gonna play that game because it's a terrible game, and anybody who plays it, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna play Survivor. I have no desire to play. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, and I'm definitely not a fan enough to spend $80 on that game.
Well, and that's just it. It's like I love Diablo 2. I'll always go back and replay it, but the new game prices, I'm sorry, man. It's like, especially the prices don't change on PC when they're just digital. So I'm just kind of like, well, why should I bother with that then?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really just like,
Yeah. No, it's insane. I remember, my goodness, dude. I remember when freaking Gears of War came out. It was like $39-$49, and I was like, sure, this is an expensive game.
Right.
And I remember doing all the pre-orders and everything. Like, that was expensive then, and now it's like $89 for what? For a card, not even an actual physical game. And you know the cards are cheaper than the actual game, but it's more convenient to buy the card. Because who's gonna buy now? There are people out there that collect the games that want the physical copy, and that's all fine and good. But I'm lazy and I don't want to have to interchange the game, so it's easier for me just to download the darn thing. But they're gonna charge more for the card, and then they do the deluxe edition where it's like you're gonna leave stuff out of the main game, or you're just gonna add stupid add-ons because
that's what they do. That is what they do. They artificially remove things out of their games to then be made into DLC. That's all they do.
We have a worker. I know this guy who loves Kylo Ren who spent money on a Kylo Ren skin on Fortnite.
Oh, that poor soul. Why?
But it's like, skins are the new thing, and it's like you're going to. And I almost did. I almost bought a gun on Call, because I'm a Modern Warfare guy. I do play Modern Warfare. And I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this gun. I had bought a card. I bought a $20 card, and it's coins, so you can buy a gun. And I sat there last night. I was like, wait a minute,
why have I done this?
I was like, why did I buy this card? I literally paid $20 for this card to buy a gun on a game that I can't physically own.
That you can't physically own, and that will be made obsolete once the new.
Fractured.
Yep, they'll be made obsolete once the new version of the game comes out, and they shut down the servers, and you have no access to it anymore. Yeah, it's a big con. It's a big freaking con. Is what it is, and we've all been duped, and we're all paying into it.
Yeah, I got duped.
Believe me, I've gotten myself duped as well. I was a retard when Mass Effect 3 was out, and a lot of us were all playing it together, and I did throw in some coins to get some of the extra characters and shit like that.
Yeah.
I still love my Solarian. My Solarian was awesome.
They got you though.
They got me though. And I fully admit it. I got.
I will say though, I have never been duped into doing the whole loot box thing, the loot box thing, which is literally gambling.
That was basically it. And I did also give money for Overwatch loot boxes once.
Fractured.
I was weak.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to tell your brother.
Oh, he already knows.
You did the loot box?
He's sitting right next to me anyways.
You did the loot box?
I did.
Wow.
And I have given cartel coins on Sutor, so.
Well, you're not a true Star Wars fan, and if you haven't done.
No. There's no excusing it.
No, listen,
There's no rationalizing it. It's still partaking.
I wanted my Rancor, and I was about to literally spend the money to buy my Rancor because that's all I wanted. because every time we went to freaking Tatooine, I wanted to gamble, and then you had a bunch of ants in your guys' pants and wouldn't let me freaking gamble.
Static says in-game purchase is the original OnlyFans scam. Ouch! Ouch!
I mean, how true is it?
I mean, he's not wrong.
You're not wrong.
I can't. Static, you're not wrong, brother.
That's
you're
how
not
I
wrong.
mean.
Crimson
100%.
Raptor did say I caved and bought Vegeta during the Fortnite Dragon Ball Super collab. In my defense, he transformed 3 times. Gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, Crimson. Here's the thing, though. I do not fault Crimson because as a Dragon Ball Z fan myself, Vegeta. Growing up, it was Vegeta and Piccolo were neck and neck, but Vegeta's always held a whole close spot in my heart, a special place in my heart, and I would do the same thing. Vegeta when I guess I'm the bad Dragon Ball fan because I did not spend money during that event. I did not purchase the character. I earned a lot of the stuff for it, but I did not buy Vegeta or Goku. Okay, well, Goku, Goku, it's Goku, but Vegeta, where I remember,
I did not purchase the Angry Prince.
He's not angry; he's passionate.
So this does seem to be the confession hour. Static has done it too, apparently. So we are all confessing our sins right now.
It's like an AA meeting. We all when it comes to spending.
Hello,
money.
I'm Fractured Filter, and I have spent money on digital coins and video games.
I'm Free Hitman, and though I've never bought Kylo Ren's skin, I have bought guns off Modern Warfare.
Hello, Hitman.
Literally. He's the prince of all Saiyans.
He's the prince of all Saiyans.
Yes.
I bought all the DLC for Borderlands 3 and never played them. Really? Damn, man.
Now, Wookie, that's just bad. That's just bad.
You gotta at least play through them once.
But
I understand. Dude, it was so funny. My brother and I think we'd started a game in Borderlands 2. And this was when we were still back in California. And we started taking like trips up to Tahoe every year. And we'd started the game, I don't know when, but it had been like a year. And then we finally got back to Borderlands 2. And while we were on vacation, when we had some downtime, we played it and then beat it finally. So it took us like a whole year to finally get back to it and beat it. But that's not the first time I've done something like that. Like I had started the first Breath of the Wild, stopped playing, and then like a year or so later, I finally got back to it and beat it.
I've not.
Wookie says they went gay.
I've not played it.
What, Borderlands?
Well, yeah, Borderlands, and then the Zelda.
Here's the Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
I was more of a Twilight Princess guy. I like Twilight Princess.
I like Twilight Princess as well.
I like Twilight Princess.
Fire!
Was Wookie in
My
the backstage?
dog tackled me.
I thought was Wookie back there in the backstage?
No, my dog he just decided to jump up on me.
Well, folks, this is what happens when you have a 200-pound husky. Sometimes the husky gets excited and decides to tackle you. Like,
yep, I'm live on stream.
Yeah,
hi, buddy. Yeah, hi.
Swan
Still
dive.
Getting used to things.
That's what we like to call a fur missile.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just want some love. Oh, come here, puppy.
One of these days, the people will see him, but not today.
The puppy just wants love. Do not deny the puppy love.
He's a goofy dog, but we like him. God, this has been fun. I've been enjoying this tonight. This has been good.
One for sure.
I
thought Wookie was in the backstage.
No, not this time.
Oh.
But I also did want to give give everyone kind of a shout here to say thank you everyone for being here right now, and also thank you for a lot of you who are here and are subscribers, because here's the dang thing. The Fractured Filter channel here, if you take a look here, we are at 95 subscribers.
That's awesome.
We've not talked about this in a little while, but this certainly felt like it snuck up on me. I didn't realize that the channel had grown that much, but we're almost at the illustrious 100.
Almost.
We just need 5 more people, folks. And if you are in there and you haven't subbed yet, I hate to be one of those people going, sub to my channel, but hey, what are we here for?
Right.
If you've got the opportunity, please do and help us hit that 100 marker. I know, Static, thank you very much. You gave us a shout out on Twitter when you were sharing out the stream to help sub and help get us to that 100. We're getting there. Very cool. And I also know over on the Rumbles, the channel's also been growing over there, which has been very cool. Let me get that one really quick. Oh, we're up to 51 subs now there. Boom! Got 51 there. Practically, if you combine the two channels, are practically there, but they are individual, so. Oh, hello there, Pro-Jack fan. Welcome to the channel. Legend, their casual rage every week. Yeah, that's right. Hail to the casual rage and open airlock. Love those two. Great stuff. So yeah, the channels have been growing. It's been awesome. I haven't been on like Twitch in a while and some of those others, but I've just been kind of having focus between YouTube and Rumble, so it's been paying off, I feel. Thank you, Crimson Raptor. He says, seriously, awesome job, both of you. This show has been a hell of a fun ride. That's for damn sure. It's been great. Spartacus saying, well, just for all this, I'll be subbing here and over on Rumble. Thank you, sir.
Let's go.
I thought you already were subbed on the Rumble channel too, and here. What the hell? And if you've got multiple accounts, by all means do so. Use those accounts and sub. I am not against that idea, not one bit. But yeah, I think with that, that's probably. Unless do you have any topics you want to bring up there, Hitman?
Other than it's been a really good show, fun show. Probably one. I mean, it's always a good time, but definitely one of my favorites, man. We kind of went off the I don't want copyright infringement from Tim, but off the tracks here a little bit with EP and good.
Hey, I've said, we have full reign to do whatever the heck we want. We can rebrand it or retool, restructure, whatever we want to do. It's our show. We do what we want.
Do what we want. No, I don't have anything other than just I want to enjoy the time that we had before we have to jump into this Ahsoka nonsense. Is that next month?
I think.
Yeah, next month. Maybe something they'll postpone production.
Well, yeah, because of the writer's strike and stuff, and the actors' strike and all that shit.
Which is interesting because maybe they always knew that it was going to be a flop, and maybe this is kind of their saving grace.
Oh, convenient! This all happens, huh?
Right.
Oh, August. That's right. Yeah.
Convenient, you say?
August something. They don't know yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But funny, all these distractions coming about.
Yeah.
Yeah. No unsubbing. Don't unsub.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got till August for Ahsoka, so we got some time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for being in here today.
Because it would not be like it would be a show, but everybody that joins, I mean, that's why we do what we do. I just want to piggyback on what you're saying. Like you and I can sit here for hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. So we've done it for 5 hours sometimes.
Screaming at the wall, at the sky. Old men yelling at the sky.
It's even that much more enjoyable, and when we have people
it's always fun to grab the chat and respond to you guys, and it adds to the conversation. A lot of fun.
We're just not crazy talking to a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost to 100. Well,
yeah. I mean,
almost.
We're getting close for 70 episodes. So we'll be getting there shortly to 100 episodes. We're on the way. But yeah, 100 subscribers for that channel. All right. So cool.
Who would have thunk? Who would have
thunk it? Spartacus, I don't think Ahsoka will be postponed. From the sounds of things, Disney Plus needs stuff. Probably true.
Well, we can hope, Spartacus.
Hail and catch you guys next week. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Spartacus, Crimson Raptor, Project Fan for jumping in, Wookie Be Bad, Static 2020, Brendan Tran, if you're still there, thank you for always showing up. Jason, since you were the first to arrive on the scene, much appreciated, brother.
Appreciate it. Everybody's support.
So yeah, and so next week, possibly tomorrow, I may be doing a System Shock stream again, or I'll save doing some streams till my days off. But next week on Thursday, I will be joining Static, Wookie Be Bad, and some others for a stream on his channel. Oh God, I'm sorry, my brain just suddenly blanked on the name.
Well,
the Thursday pregame. The pregame show. I'll be joining them, joining on the topic of what was it? It was going to be basically discussing the whole term of woke.
What?
Like I said, next Thursday we get to have that conversation in more depth on the word of woke, what it means, and stuff like that. So that'll be fun and interesting. I'm looking forward to taking part of that. I'm curious. So yeah, he says we'll have Horror Amarada, Duke Devil, Know Me Without You, and the host. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that for sure. That'll be fun. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing next week. Again, like Wednesday, Thursday, early morning, or not early mornings, but probably in the mornings, I will be doing the System Shock streams. Or like I say, maybe between Wednesday and then, or Sunday and then, I'll do some streams for that game. Check it out on Rumble. That's where I'll be doing the streams. And Hitman, do you have anything you want to plug out there? Are you good?
Just trying to decide if we're going to review Diablo 4. So as soon as I figure out if we're going to do it or not, we'll
all right.
Twist Fractured's arm, maybe.
We'll see. But anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I have the capabilities to do it. I just got to figure out if I want to. I don't know. I need to get back into it. I've not done a proper stream, so the more I think about
it's been a while.
Maybe Diablo 4. I don't know. It depends if I want to give them my money, and I'm frugal. So
Me too.
We'll figure it out. But
we will.
That would be the only thing that I'm trying to figure out if I want to do or not.
Okay, cool. All right, folks. With that, we say good night. Have a good one. Catch you later. Where is it? Oh, there.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage.